You know what's a lot more fun than watching the Vikings play right now? Winning money. And I have a way for you to do that. It's the Underdog Fantasy app in their Pick'em game. All you have to do is pick higher or lower on your favorite players, and you can win up to 20 times your money in a single night. Forget to make an entry for the night? Don't worry. They have lines for the second half that you can place as well. They keep it super simple with their easy-to-use website and mobile apps. You pick between 2 and 5 players to fill out your Pick'em entry. If you get every pick right, you take home some cash. Use code 10K and get your first deposit doubled up to $100 by Underdog. Once again, that's code 10K on the Underdog app or go to www.underdogfantasy.com.
On this episode of It's a Bit, we're joined by our longtime friend, Gabe Henderson. He's an on-air talent for the Minnesota Vikings. He does all sorts of content with them, including some stuff with the radio at our friends at KFAN, talking about our Minnesota Vikings, which, not great timing. We scheduled this interview about a month out, so we didn't know we'd be at that point, but here we are, 0-3, talking to Gabe about the Vikings. We're also going to talk about various Minnesota sports topics like the Vikings, Twins clinching the AL Central, Gophers lose to Northwestern, and wild preseason hockey is kicked off. We go into our bits of the week as always, and we're going to end the show by playing buy or sell, buying or selling people, places, things like their stocks. So all of that and more on It's a Bit.
To the top, never going down, don't wait for the drop. Never stand still, that's the motto. Yeah, brand new bands for the auto. Oh, foot to the ground, full throttle. Big energy for the night like lotto. Damn, y'all talk lots, never this quiet. Life like a Seinfeld plot. Ball full of songs, all of them bombs. Something like a minefield guy. Boom. Get it, tickets running out quick. Bet it, never get it out big.
All right, welcome back to It's a Bit, presented by 10,000 Takes. My name is Bossman, joined by producer Cam and Wags. We're down journalist Jake again. He's in the boundary waters, just living off the land, I think.
Are you happy about
Cam,
that,
2 weeks in a row without Jake.
Yes!
This is your Super Bowl.
I live for this.
It's just like Christmas for Cam.
I'm not going to lie, I actually do like when he's here because then I have someone to, beef with. I don't beef with you guys. But the house is going to be silent, and I'm not going to have to hear footsteps at 3 a.m. It's going to be great.
Yeah, you don't have to hear doors closing and footsteps.
Literally
at 3 a.m.
last night.
And every light on.
It was last night. It was I get it. I don't think he worked today, but it was 3 a.m. I woke up in the middle of the night to him whistling.
Yeah, so you guys can
walking around.
You guys have a room obviously right next to Jake. Can you guys just hear him singing and humming?
Oh
through your
yeah.
own rooms?
Sometimes he'll start playing his guitar and singing, and it's it's so loud.
But you can always tell when he goes to bed though, because it goes from singing and humming to a fucking jet engine because his fan is on the highest setting humanly possible without it exploding.
I want to get him one of those rings that monitor your sleep, because I don't think he sleeps. If you ever ask him on a single night, how'd you sleep? Well, I didn't fall asleep till 2, and then I woke up at 4 and couldn't fall back asleep till 7. Then I dozed off and woke up with a panic attack at 8. And now I'm here, and it's how do you just function like this?
It's awful. When you said ring, I thought you meant I want to get him one of those Ring cameras for his bedroom. So that's what I thought you were.
You can also monitor his sleep schedule that way.
Just watch him.
It's just it's a little more weird, that method, but that's also effective, I suppose. But
it might be illegal. Yeah.
So journalist Jake, I'm also surprised he's missing a homecoming as the Gopher connoisseur, the super fan of the group.
You know what that means?
He's a fake fan.
He's the fake fan
He's
again.
a fake fan again.
We're off the hook.
Well, we're off the hook.
He hasn't missed a home game, and I think he says 10 years, right?
Other than COVID, which doesn't count.
I guess
games where you're allowed to go. He probably hasn't missed one since he was in high school.
Yeah, you're right. And to miss homecoming of all games, I mean, I guess this is a good game to miss considering how it's gone the last 2 years.
Yeah.
But the kid's a fake fan, and I'm
He's
glad it's finally coming to the light.
I can't wait to ask his father. Well, I think his dad will still be there tailgating with us, probably. Wally.
Awesome.
I'm just going to ask him how disappointed he is that he pays for his son's ticket. Actually, I don't know if he pays for his ticket anymore. But
breaking news. Huntington Bank Stadium on Saturday is going to be Bringold free.
Really? No Wally?
No Wally? They gave it to their neighbors.
Oh, I guess if Jake's not going to go, then it's kind of weird. But
yeah, no Bringles.
How grateful are all the fans around that area? Because Jake annoys the fuck out of them at all those games.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, no drunk guy with a visor and a suit. But someone has to. Well, I think Jake made the press conference today that Coach Hawk will not be in attendance. He's on suspension due to alleged alcoholism. But no Jake. It's going to be weird. But it is homecoming. We'll get into the Gophers against Northwestern, but we got to start, I guess, on Friday. Some good stuff happened. Cam and I were in attendance when the Minnesota Twins clinched the AL Central Championship. Round of applause for the Minnesota Twins. I don't care what you say about it, yes, the AL Central was a garbage division. Yes, we won it. We clinched it barely over 500, but a win's a win. Crazier teams, worse teams, I feel like, have won the World Series. I remember the Nationals won on a play-in game a couple years ago. Like, it's not the end of the world. Are you going to pull up the comment that we got on the TikTok cam when someone told us that?
Oh, my God.
Someone told – so, a little context. Cam and I were there. We took the video of the last pitch when we clinched it and the celebration and all that. It was a great time in the stands, a great time on the field. We posted it on TikTok, and naturally a flurry of haters came and just said, you know, it's such an easy division to win. Why are you that happy? And someone responded to that comment.
A little more context, too. We went to the bars afterwards, so I was sitting at work, like, allegedly very hungover and, like, not wanting to be there. I had to be there at 7 a.m. So I'm scrolling through our TikTok just seeing, like, if we got any views on that TikTok, and boy, was I fucking happy. Because the guy commented, like you said, like, whatever, like, bad.
Not a hard division to win.
Yeah, and then this other random dude just replies with piss blood. It was the funniest fucking thing ever.
Short yet effective.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just says piss blood. It's like, have a condition.
Yeah.
That sums up TikTok in general, dude. You can literally comment anything and someone's gonna reply piss blood.
It's funny because the United States government worries about TikTok, saying it's a national security threat that, you know, China's stealing our data, when in all reality they're just witnessing another human tell another human that they don't know to go pee blood. So
yeah, that's bad.
Yeah,
like, peeing blood is never a good thing.
No. But, you know, that was a great game. Duran had a walkout, which was fun to watch in person as always, even though he kind of scared us a little bit in the bottom of the ninth there, almost gave the game away.
He's been doing that a decent bit lately, I feel like.
See, that would have sucked because we would have won the division no matter what. We still have like 10. We still had 10 games to play at that point.
The celebration would have been so lame.
But we would have missed the celebration. So, like, for us to be
yeah.
there, I was like, you better fucking do this.
And the game was sold out pretty much. So it was the most full I've seen Target Field since probably the Brewers were in town. Yeah. So a lot of people were clearly banking on them to win that game and to clinch so they could be part of the moment. And, yeah, it would have been a complete and utter disappointment if the Angels hit a grand slam in the bottom of the ninth and we fucking lost.
Yeah, but it would have been right on brand, though.
It would
have been so, like, just Minnesota.
With the rest of the weekend, it would have been right on brand. This was the only – I thought, you know, Friday we got the Twins, right? Saturday we have the Gophers against Northwestern. That one's usually a free win.
Yep.
Sunday we're going to beat the Chargers at home. The Vikings are going to figure their shit out. After little did I know, after the Twins game, like, it was all downhill from there.
Yeah, that was the only
really
good thing
sad.
that happened.
And we should have known, too, that that's how the weekend is going to play out after something good happened in Minnesota sports. You had to know that, yeah, the Gophers are going to shit the bed. Not only shit the bed, shit it in, like, an almost historic way. And then the Minnesota Vikings do the same thing with their turnovers.
Right.
So bad.
Right. But at least sticking really quick with the Twins, I saw a great tweet on I got to give the guy who tweeted it credit because it was so damn funny. But so obviously the funny thing about clinching a game in the regular season like that to win the division means that, you know, the players are going to get after it. They put up the tarps in the locker room. They, you know, have carts of Budweiser and champagne rolled out, and everyone gets wasted, and then they all have to, you know, play the next day, or at least some of them do. So, you know, naturally why am I locked out of my Twitter account? I have to reset my password.
Real quick while you pull that up, one of the funniest things that I saw, like, during the celebration that you just mentioned, is, like, the amount of people that got beer poured all over them. Like, Audra Martin got, like, doused in beer. She tweeted that she had to stay up until, like, 4 a.m. to clean her hair.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
And then, like, Kenta Maeda allegedly was, like, hosting, like, rock, paper, scissors tournaments, and whoever lost had to lay on the ground, and they had to, like, basically waterboard them with beer. It's fucking insane.
The whole entire, I was surprised on how much the team could party. I guess maybe they had a little weight to, you know, piss off because the whole entire season has been kind of close. But did you see, like, Dallas Keuchel? He was going fucking crazy. Who dumped the beer on Audra? Because it wasn't just like a little beer. It was like 2 full fucking beers all over.
It was Pablo Lopez, I think.
Which is he doesn't strike me as a guy who would do that.
They were just all going nuts.
But he was just like, you're part of us, Audrey. You're on the team, and he just doused her. That was absolutely hilarious. It was great watching all the celebrations, but
and it was great news in the celebration. Correa, Buxton, and Lewis all looked healthy.
I'm surprised neither of them got hurt in the celebration.
They're going to be okay. They're all going to come back.
So this was from @prime_Julian. It was Sonny Gray pitching today, and it's the clip from the bench warmers where the pitcher is like drinking liquor on the mound.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, these guys, they partied the night before, and the hair of the dog, the only way to keep going is probably they put a shit ton of Budweiser and champagne in those big Gatorade containers that guys usually hit with bats or their fists when they have a bad inning. So
And just kept it rolling.
yeah, I mean that's probably what Sonny Gray was doing at that point.
Well, he had to, because it wasn't like they had a 7 p.m. game the next day. They had like a noon game.
It
Yeah.
seems like it always shakes out that way too.
Every year.
It's always a noon game. The whole bench is littered with sunglasses. Everyone's grinding. Everyone's, chugging water. And but it's for a good reason.
That had to have been the most like lackadaisical like warm up session in the world. They're like none of them came out to hit BP. I bet like no one warmed up really.
Yeah.
I mean, they win.
No, they lost that game, but then they won on Sunday.
Okay.
And it was it was like, was it 1-0?
It wasn't a lot.
It was, so I mean, defensively they had their shit together, but yeah, there was no way the reflexes were on par to hit the baseball that day. So
You're also not as motivated too, I guess. But at the same time, you're a pro athlete. Let's get some dubs.
right, and you want to stay hot, for the postseason. So there's no reason you would stop trying. But, anyways, we'll move on to Saturday. Then the Gophers lost to Northwestern. They blew a 21-point lead going into the fourth quarter, which was pretty depressing. And that stadium in Illinois just continues to be the most depressing high school lookalike field in the entire sphere of college football.
Literally had advertisement funding from Minnesota. There was an Explore Minnesota sign at the game. And it wasn't like a graphic on a TV. It was a legit sign.
And what really sucks, too, for Northwestern, at least the players, is could you imagine that place would have been bumping with the full crowd with that comeback? That would have been electric to be at as a Northwestern fan. Instead, it happened in front of no one.
It was probably a quarter of the way full, and I would say half of that quarter were Gopher fans from what it looked like on TV.
Which I was surprised, but then, it's Illinois. It's not that far of a drive. I'm sure we could actually make that drive one of these years if we wanted to. But
A really hard question and probably a hard conversation to have because I've met him a couple times. He's like a great guy. But, like, where do you guys stand on the head coaching situation now?
well, you know what? I think we're going to talk about that in Buy or Sell.
Look at that.
Look at a little preview.
I was just
Yeah, a little
foreshadowing.
preview.
little plug.
I was
Look at
laying it up
Cameron.
for
I
you.
was going to ask the question, does Northwestern have actual fans, or is it just alumni?
How come? Yeah. How come are there no fans? Like, how come? Like, what's
I
the
mean,
issue there?
it's a pretty niche. It's a private school,
Yeah.
right? It's predominantly a law.
But why have
school?
a giant stadium if no one's going to go
What's
there?
funny,
Right? Like,
Right.
I actually saw a tweet before we even played them on like it was like a chart of college football fans and how many like a percentage of their fans are alumni. Northwestern was number 1 at 99.8%.
So
Really?
that's crazy. I didn't even.
They're all
I
alumni.
just threw that out there. Like, do they have any actual fans? It sounds like they don't.
No, it's just everyone that went to school there.
Yeah,
what's their enrollment? Yeah.
they probably grew up fans of. I mean, let's say you grew up in Chicago. What
the
are you a
problem
fan of
is-
Illinois?
No, the problem is everyone's a fan of Notre Dame
Oh yeah, Chief.
because
Chief's a big
it's
Notre
not
Dame.
like it's not the closest school to Chicago, but like it's the most popular. and
Well, like
seems
what about like
cool.
the Fighting Illini too?
Yeah,
That's what I
mean,
asked. Yeah,
I
I don't
think
know.
from what I've gathered, obviously I don't live in Chicago. For football, it's Notre Dame. For basketball, it's Illinois.
Okay.
Because Illinois football has never been
So
good.
Northwestern
except, like, the past
University,
couple years.
Cook County, Illinois, has 23,410 students.
Which is hilarious because that's bigger than UND.
It is
but,
bigger,
but
yeah.
we are like super fans. Like we're annoying when it comes to college hockey. So that's
I wonder what for U of M. So
usually it's around 35,000 the last I
Yeah.
checked.
I have a
Maybe
feeling-
a little more now.
I have a feeling if Northwestern ever got a hockey team, they would get the Chicago market because I feel like they might be fans of Notre Dame, but then they would be like, okay, well, this is the local team now. We have
Well,
to
Notre
support
Dame has
them.
hockey though, don't
Right,
they?
they do, but I feel like at that point they would jump onto Northwestern because I don't think Notre Dame's that good historically, are they?
55K. I haven't they have sick uniforms. I love their helmets and stuff.
Yeah.
When
They
play
have the
hockey,
silver
but-
helmets, right?
Yeah, I remember the last thing I remember about Notre Dame hockey, and it's because I don't follow college hockey too closely, but I just remember Don Lucia's kid Mario played for Notre Dame, and that's like my biggest memory of Notre
I actually
Dame
remember
hockey.
that too for some
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
Speaking of Notre Dame, and we're on the topic of college football. They fucking pissed me off on Saturday.
They
I
only
had-
had 10 players on the field the last two plays.
Yeah, and then Marcus Freeman, their coach, tries to say it was on purpose, so they didn't get a penalty or some shit. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Then he
I don't-
proceeds. Then he proceeds to call out Lou Holtz, who just caught an absolute
Yeah,
stray.
Ryan Day did.
Yeah.
It's like
but-
Dirk saying, I threw that interception at the end on purpose because I didn't want one of our guys to fumble it. It's just such a dumb excuse.
I would say both guys in that situation were in the wrong. Lou Holtz did actually like rip apart Ohio State before the game, but then Ryan Day like was insane. He needs to calm down. They didn't even win by that much, and it was a game that they were supposed to win.
Right.
Yeah.
But I had such a good day betting on Saturday, so I can't be that mad. But Notre Dame would have put it over the top, and then they just can't score on the goal line 3 different times. And then I saw the Vikings do the same thing the day after.
Mm-hmm.
It was great.
Yeah.
See, at least, Cam, you're pointing out the positives of being a degenerate. You don't have to care about your own sports as long as you have your own bets going.
Exactly.
We had speaking of frustrating plays, we had the Gopher player on the punt who backed up and then caught it off the bounce in the end zone and looked like he was on the 5, and he was halfway into the end zone.
It literally looked like his controller died.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Dude, the lack of situational awareness by a D1 football player, that always blows my mind. He's been playing football since he was 5 years old probably, right?
Yeah.
Look at the goal line, see where it is, and stop the ball before it. I'm pretty sure, too, like, when you're on special teams, he's not a starter in anything else, really. So it's like, one job,
I guarantee
let's do it well.
There is no excuse for it at all. The one excuse that he probably was thinking in his head was, for some reason, the end zone at Northwestern, and a couple other schools are like this, but the end zone, like, you know how they always usually have, like, it's different color.
Yeah.
It's the same exact color as the field.
It's green.
So it looks like it's just another 5-yard marker.
Oh, that's criminal.
But at the same time, you still have to have awareness to
Yeah.
know that you're literally in the end zone.
Again, if you down it within the 1, they're not going to score. It's not going to go into overtime, right? Like,
Right. That's game. 'Cause
Yeah.
there's no way our defense is, I mean, actually, you never know. It's fucking.
That game was just pretty fucking upsetting. I mean, I was at like a family event. I was just watching it on my phone, drinking Coors Lights, and I was in shock when I saw that last play. I mean, I just buried my head in my hands, and I just didn't even know how to react.
yeah.
Like I told you guys, I was telling you guys this on Sunday, I believe. I, on purpose, like, because I was here. I was the only one at the house. I was just being a fat piece of shit, just watching football. I had 3 TVs set up in the living room, like, because you brought that one in there. I put the Gophers game on the far left one with no sound, because I was like, this is going to go one of 2 ways. One, it's going to be a blowout. The Gophers are going to win by a lot, and I'm not going to have to, like, follow it that much. Or 2, it's going to be horrible, and we're going to lose, and then I wouldn't want to watch it anyway. So, I didn't actually get super emotionally invested into it. I was still pissed, but, like, I didn't let it, like, ruin my night.
It was one of those things where it came down to the end, and you thought, you know, if you're anybody else, this is probably a pretty interesting game to watch because there's a massive upset brewing. But as a Minnesota fan, you're like, this is fucking right on brand. We're going to lose this game. I'm going to be upset. The Vikings are going to do the same exact shit tomorrow, and this is just the start to a horrid weekend.
Dude, I think so I turned the channel after we scored late in the third quarter. I think that's what put us up 21 points, right? So I turned it back, and it like over an hour and a half later, just like I wanted to see the final score, see if they're talking pregame, and they were in overtime, and like I just started laughing because what else can you do?
I can't Jake made that video of reacting to it. He's like, I can't process what happened. I kind of almost blacked out during that. I don't remember really what went down. It all happened so fast and so incorrectly that I just can't process. I'm not going to think about it. I can't think about it.
I'm not going to lie. This is not good. Like, the Gophers potentially might miss a bowl game.
Oh, I was thinking about that on Saturday. I go, we could miss a bowl game because of this.
Louisiana this week were 11-point favorites, but they're not bad.
Yeah, they're not bad. And we've been way bigger favorites the last 2 years at homecoming and his loss as well.
We were 11-point favorites on Saturday.
And then the NCAA just decided to bend over the University of Minnesota and just fuck them with no lube. Because the week after that, we play number 2 Michigan at home at 6:30 p.m. on NBC.
Oh, Cam, you don't want to know what the terminology you're going to use that you use for that?
What
is it going to be? Michigan against Minnesota. It starts with an T. It ends with an F.
Oh, we're going to get throat fucked.
Yeah.
Oh, God, boys. Oh, that's true, though. That is definitely.
We're going to get throat fucked by Michigan, and we just have to accept it.
Like, right now, after losing to Northwestern, I'm looking at our schedule. And if I'll just run through it quick. Louisiana win. Michigan loss. Iowa loss. Michigan State toss up. Illinois probably a loss. Purdue win. Ohio State loss. Wisconsin loss. That gives you 4 wins.
I actually, at this point, I'll just say this. I don't care what happens the rest of the season. I just want to keep the axe. I mean, that is the annual Super Bowl that.
And didn't Wisconsin lose to a pretty shitty team 2 weeks ago?
Washington?
Wisconsin lost to Washington State, and they're very good.
Okay.
But there's 3 guaranteed losses because I'm on the point where I'm saying Iowa's a guaranteed loss. So that's Michigan, Iowa, and Ohio State. That gives you 5 losses on the year. You would have to, and then like the other ones aren't even guaranteed wins.
Well, now we just have to strive to be in the Meineke Car Care Bowl of Texas.
Yeah, and this is coming from like the most optimistic Minnesota sports fan there is. But I just don't have optimism.
It's funny too because you can do the same thing with the Viking schedule. And
You
you can
can.
take it out right now, and you can be like, I see 3 wins. Like,
Or you can say, I know we're capable of beating all these teams, but we're also capable of losing to all of them. As well.
Which is a scary spot to be as a team, man.
At least for the
purgatory.
Vikings, for the Vikings, like you just
play
have
the Bears twice.
You have to beat one of the Chiefs or the Niners coming up, and then you literally have Packers, Falcons, Saints, Broncos, Bears, Raiders.
So that's
like,
a good
pretty
time to
easy
get right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I can see the Vikings winning this week and next week and then playing the 49ers and just losing by 40.
Or
I get to see something crazy
or
like
losing
that.
to the Bears.
Oh, yeah.
I won't be mad. Like, we have to go – we'll just transition to the Vikings quick. We have to go 3-1 in our next 4 games.
Yeah.
Like, you have to beat the Panthers and Bears. That's non-negotiable.
Yeah.
And then you have to upset either the Chiefs or the Niners.
Which the Chiefs you could do. The Lions have already done. I know the Lions are good.
I think the Niners you could do as well. Because they're both at home, which is good.
Oh, dude, Christian McCaffrey against this run defense is
Correct.
going to be
That's
an
the
issue.
problem.
That's going to be an issue.
And I'm also worried that Taylor Swift's going to be coming to Minnesota and giving the Chiefs some of those. Did you see how motivated they were when they saw fucking Taylor Swift and the fans? Did?
so
Yeah.
over it.
They turned it on.
Mahomes
real quick.
admitted to it.
Yes.
He had to throw a touchdown to Kelsey because the most famous person in the world that's not a politician is sitting in your fucking home crowd.
cheering on the boys. Yeah.
I'm so over it. The Swifties are starting to take over the NFL.
I
and
know,
the
it's
only
not good.
thing that
Dude,
we had.
The memes are great though, man. Okay, like it was. I saw a meme where someone was like the Swifties after watching NFL for 3 days, and it was like Sean McVay like delicately breaking down a play. It was so funny.
I saw some woman like tweet out a take about Travis Kelce. She clearly didn't know who he was until all this started, and the post literally starts with, "I'm usually against men doing podcasts," and then it was like about how him and his brother have like this great vibe together and everything, and I'm like, who just starts with a take like that? I'm usually against men doing podcasts.
Well,
not women doing podcasts, not anyone else doing podcasts, specifically against men doing podcasts.
I'm gonna name drop someone because it doesn't matter. Like on Sunday, I was scrolling through my phone and the fucking Kelly Keegs from Barstool kept popping up on my Twitter, and she was just making videos about the whole situation.
She's a big Swiftie. Yeah.
It was insufferable.
Yeah.
I wanted to pour gasoline all over my phone and just run away. It was horrible. I'm like,
light it on fire.
I'm like, you guys need to go somewhere else.
I do love though, like Big Cat, like he's just going after the Swifties hard. That was like half my day today was just refreshing his feed and laughing.
So
well,
funny.
and the Swifties are more psychotic than Dallas Stars fans. I mean, Swifties are like a new breed of crazy. Apparently, Travis Kelce's jersey sales went up 400% in the last few days, which is, if you're not even a sports fan, why would you just buy a random athlete who is probably going to get broken up with and have an album written about him? About how, can you imagine though? Think about like a Taylor Swift album, but it's her talking about how Travis Kelce is bad on like the pass block. Or the run blocking, or the slot receiving.
To obsess over someone that much, where when they get a boyfriend and they haven't even been together for more than 2 weeks, or at least I don't think they have, that you're buying the fucking jersey, you have to reevaluate your life.
You're buying a $180 Fanatics jersey that's probably going to have Kelsey spelled wrong.
Yes, and here's something that the Swifties they've already uncovered, but apparently Travis Kelce cheated on his last very beautiful wife, right? And so now all the Swifties are saying, why is Taylor with a cheater?
Yeah.
Why, how dare she?
Well, like, the Swifties are so insane. I saw something on Twitter today. What is that? What is it called? Like the Gemini, like Pisces.
Oh, like the signs.
Yeah. So they
astrological
Astro-
signs.
Yeah, that's what it is. So this lady on Twitter was like, started the tweet with, "Well, I don't know Travis Kelce's time of birth yet." In parentheses, give me time. I will find it out. And then posted like a whole chart of like, and like how they match up. They're like, yeah, well, his Libra sun and her Pisces moon don't really match. I'm like, you're fucking nuts. How do you have this much time?
I saw that same tweet at the end. She was like, in summary, their relationship will be electric or something like that. I was like,
God.
what? Just based off the stars? Okay.
Can you imagine some psychotic chick is just calling the random ass hospital in the middle of Westlake, Ohio, asking what time Travis Kelce was born at? Like, that's just public information.
But like, ma'am, have you ever heard of HIPAA? Like, that doesn't pertain to me. I'm a Swiftie. It's
Ma'am,
fine.
is this like your hobby? Like when you're not working, it's
crazy.
It's being nuts. Did you see the Swifties that were taking pictures of Taylor eating a chicken nugget or like a chicken wing with ketchup and ranch, and it's like, oh my God, breaking news: Taylor Swift eats her chicken with ranch, and it's like, yeah, so does the entire Midwest. Like this,
Fucking nuts.
This is nothing new.
I saw another one saying, "Are we another red flag about Travis? He punches his own teammates during practice." So, and they showed that video in preseason where he just fucking hit his own guy. And dude, it's sports. It's competitive. Obviously,
Breaking.
tempers. Bill Guerin broke his stick over a rookie's head in training camp once. Like it just
the one genius thing about Taylor Swift though that I saw. One of her concerts, she showed like to get to the stage, she would have had to pass a bunch of fans. She was in like a crate. And then she got dropped off.
Yeah.
But apparently after the Chiefs game, she was in Travis Kelce's suite, obviously. She was inside, like, the popcorn container. And they hauled her downstairs.
But people knew it because
they knew that's what she does.
They were lining up.
It's insane. Because they expected her to walk out, and then the popcorn thing came out, and they're like, that's her. That's her. I'm like, you guys need a hobby.
that's next level stardom if you have to do that. Which she does. She is that big of a star.
That's smart, though, because I've never heard of anyone else doing that.
Yeah.
So I guess let's go back to the Vikes. You guys were in attendance. How was How was the atmosphere? How was the game itself?
It was actually pretty electric for the most part, and then you had the fuck ups like the 3rd and 17. Late in the fourth quarter when you have the lead, you let them get that somehow, and then the next play, a ball thrown right into fucking Evans' hands. It somehow goes through his It happened right in front of us too.
Yeah.
It goes through his hands, off his helmet. Gets caught by, I think, Joshua Palmer.
Yep.
And then, and now all of a sudden the Chargers have the lead. Now we have to drive down the field with like 4 or 5 minutes left, right? It's just typical Minnesota Vikings. And up until that point, it was actually a pretty fun game. The Vikings had the lead. Yeah, there were some dumb mistakes. It finally seemed like we were going to overcome them. And then Minnesota Vikings football happened.
It was like the first quarter and like 3 quarters of the second quarter. I know that's a lot of math. The atmosphere was electric, and then the boos started raining at halftime because we just like shit the bed at the end of the first half. And then the third quarter was great, and most of the fourth quarter was great, and the atmosphere was great. And then everyone just started booing again. Yeah, it was like we couldn't close either half.
I was listening to PA for like the first half of the first quarter, and the sadness in his voice when he had to announce that TJ Hawkinson fumbled the ball in the red zone again.
In the first drive.
In the first drive, when the defense makes a stand, they make the Chargers punt. And
all week in practice, KOC's like he's saying ball security. He's emphasizing it.
Here's a really depressing stat that PA and Pete Persich read out on the radio, though, before that first drive, was that the Minnesota Vikings last week were the only team who didn't have a rush over 9 yards. It took them 3 weeks to do that, which for how much they did run the ball those first 2 games, that's fucked.
I need Cam Akers so bad. Yeah. We went to the tailgate afterwards, and someone walked up to us. It was like, boys, do you think it's time we send Madison to Siberia?
I exile him?
Well, so how many official fumbles did he have?
0, but he
fumbled.
Dropped the ball
dropped the
4
ball.
times.
Yes, in total. The ball in his hands hit the ground 4 times.
He dropped the ball multiple times, and then he would have fumbled if they didn't call like
forward progress.
Buttergate.
Yeah,
Buttergate.
Fucking
ball
real.
slippery, bro. I don't know what else to tell you.
Jack, you should pull it up though. Like the greatest thing that happened was on Twitter from Nick Swardson.
His tweet
was fucking awesome.
Yeah, so obviously the Vikings lost, especially on a last second play where Kirk maybe wasted 15 seconds trying to figure out what was happening, and he did. KOC was trying to get him to run a play, catch the defense off guard, and Kirk was gonna just take liberty of spiking it, but he didn't. And it was this whole mess. He throws the pick. If you saw the video, I recorded my reaction live. My jaw dropped. I had no words for it.
Yeah.
And
I did see that play more in depth on Twitter too. He placed that ball perfectly. That's the only place he could have put it, and Hawkinson just didn't reel it in.
My thing,
it was still a hard catch.
If you're going to be the highest paid tight end in the league, it's a tough play to make. But if you're the highest paid person in the league in your position, you should be making that play.
I agree.
I also saw too during the halftime show they had
the mascot
game, and who's the Braves guy?
Yeah,
Blooper came in and just fucked up some kids.
Dude, he fucked up many kids, and so did the other mascots. But I have a bone to pick with Victor the Viking. Did you saw the mascot lineup, right?
Yeah.
No Norty, no TC Bear.
Yeah.
But yet he's gonna invite Blooper. We have the Philadelphia Eagles mascots there, right? We have all
the whole stadium booed him.
Yeah, it was actually hilarious.
Yeah, that eagle shouldn't be allowed within the outskirts of Minneapolis, let alone the state of Minnesota. That was a questionable roster.
Yeah, I think the only Minnesota mascots we had Goalie Gopher, and then we had Crunch from the St. Paul Saints.
We had the Loon too,
and
but
the
that
Loon.
doesn't matter.
We didn't even get the Timberwolves.
The Loons don't matter.
Well, Crunch is the Wolves.
No, Crunch was
mascot.
there.
Oh, Crunch did show up? Okay,
Yeah, Crunch
okay.
was there.
What is the St.
Goldie
Paul
was there.
Saints
Oh, she was
mascot
there
again?
too.
Yeah, sorry, I called her Crunch.
Mud Donna.
Oh, yeah, it's Mud Donna.
Ah.
That's it, yeah.
I thought Crunch was there. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But the whole time that that thing was going on, it was the 6th graders from Simley Simley, and that was like my high school rival. So they announced the kids, and I just stand up and booed. And then
You just booed a ton of middle school
And then
children.
the whole game, I was just hoping they got trucked. So when
And they
Blooper
did.
trucked that kid, I went nuts.
Dude, and also, so they showed, they did the bit where they showed the kids leaving the bus and walking like into the stadium, right?
That was hilarious.
6th graders have changed their game. Oh my,
Yeah.
they were all dripping out in swag, man. They were wearing chains. They were flexing to the camera and shit like that.
Back when I was in 6th grade, we walked up hills both ways.
In the snow, like fuck.
If I would have got off the bus for a 6th grade football game, I would have had a Capri Sun in one hand and a fucking Game Boy in the other. It's not like 2 chains and a Rolex.
Yeah, some kid showing their teeth like they had fake girls in, It was crazy.
If I asked for a chain for Christmas, my parents would have just laughed at me and then told me to go mow the lawn.
Yeah, yes.
But yeah, so obviously there was an outpour of negativity from Vikings fans for good reason. I mean, we're 0-3 now. A tough game at least after the Panthers coming up. Like that was a must-win game to try to get right. And now we're back to 0-3, completely winless. But the best, I think, negative reaction we saw was from Nick Swardson, and he said, quote unquote, "I hate football, and I hope I get super AIDS COVID as I suck my own toiled cock. Fuck football in its shit penis. AIDS sandwich." He just threw a ton of profanity together. And that was just his reaction, which was relatable, is fair.
No, I think every single Vikings fan in the world agreed with that statement.
It's
verbatim.
the greatest tweet in the world. It's
It
in
is.
Twitter Hall of Fame for sure.
I think that's up there.
Or
I
X
think
Hall
that's
of
up
Fame,
there.
whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But
I just wanted to really quick talk about that last play, the interception again. I thought it was fucking Bush League that both KOC and Kirk had the audacity to kind of put it on the crowd. They said the crowd was too loud. First of all, what are you going to do when you're on the road? But second of all, I just, dude, you have to deal with crowd noise. It's part of it.
That's part of it.
And the only noise that I heard, and it was loud, don't get me wrong, but it was just people yelling, "Spike, clock it, Spike." And that's all people were yelling because they couldn't believe what was going on.
I will say you can't blame it on the crowd, but like Vikings fans are dumb.
Yeah.
It was so loud.
There was a lot of times, and before that play too, when the Vikings were on offense,
Yeah.
where they make a big play and they start cheering when the Vikings are trying to hurry up.
And it's not even that. Like, at least like where I was sitting, which wasn't super far from you, there was people chanting "Let's go Vikings."
Well, they're on offense.
What are you doing?
Yeah. The first thing I think of is if you ever look at the old days of like Peyton Manning in Indianapolis and Tom Brady in New England, how quiet the crowd is when they're on offense. They cheer for a little bit after a big play happens, and then Manning or Brady, I've literally seen them do this, and everyone's just
The whole
dead
team was
silent.
doing that.
And
They
see,
were like,
instead of doing that, Kirk is just like this. Obviously, he's trying to hear the play call, but he has two options there. He can't hear, so he has to either do this with his hands or he just has to get to the line and clock the fucking ball.
Yeah, and then you run over to the sideline if you need to and figure out the play.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was. I actually did believe that he was going to throw a touchdown there. I didn't think he was going to throw it to Hawkinson though in like triple coverage. And to make things worse, I don't know if you guys saw the clip after the fact, but I think everybody forgot about the play where Madison was running right up the middle on 1st and goal, I think it was.
that was probably a touchdown.
And got completely trucked by the one guy he had to get past.
It should have been a touchdown with any other running back, and like he didn't even get hit that hard.
No, but he just
like
completely
bounced off.
smoked the ground.
It was
Like,
insane.
Yeah.
I just don't understand because maybe it's the workload, but when he was backing up Dalvin Cook, he looked like a completely different back. He really
has to
did.
be the workload.
I don't know what it is. Like he lacks, like from what I can see, like I don't want to shit on him that much, but like he lacks like toughness and he lacks vision.
Yeah.
And it like
I can't. Yeah, the holes. Like he cannot find the holes when they're available.
Should have known. Do you remember
She
that?
Yeah, it's true.
Do you remember that game in Seattle during the COVID year during 2020? It was a Sunday night game. We should have won the game. And Dalvin Cook Madison had a wide open hole, and he went into the fucking lineman. What are you doing?
Well, even on that last play too, he only had one guy to beat and he got tackled. But even I think it was C.J. Ham who fucked up there. They had a tight end fill one hole, and instead of filling that open hole where that one guy was coming to hit the running back, instead of C.J. blocking him, he just dives right behind the tight end.
I saw that too.
And lets that guy come right up. So it's just,
Cam, you brought up the Jalen Hurts. What is it? The butt push.
Yeah, the tush push.
Tush push. I think we need to try that with Kirk
I think
Cousins.
every team needs to try that until it's
It
outlawed.
fucking works.
Well,
It
here's the thing. They don't
works.
even have to get Kirk out, get a wild card quarterback in and do that, right? Like, get someone else in there
You
for
could-
that.
You could literally have C.J. Ham take the snap.
You
Yes,
could.
because when the Eagles line up like that, everyone knows what's going to happen, and they
But
do it anyways.
Even if it's Kirk, he's still getting through because you have 730,000 pounds pushing you.
You could have ran that on 1st and goal or 2nd and goal, whatever
Yeah.
the play was, rather than not spiking the ball, eating up 13 seconds of chaos, having the fans cheer, and then throwing one to Hawkinson in
Well,
desperation.
there's like this narrative that like people are saying that not every team does it because Hurts is so big and he's just built different, which is true. But at the same time, like he gets through with ease. All these other quarterbacks could fucking do it.
Yes.
It blows
Or,
my
like
mind.
you said, just throw someone else in there. But
Dude, you stop him on 3rd and 17. Evans catches that interception, or the Vikings score in any of the 2 drives at the end where they get stopped. They win the game.
Or-
All
yeah,
one thing
yeah.
just needs to happen in those 4 scenarios, and they don't do any.
The only good positive, once again, the Vikings beat themselves.
Yeah.
If they can just clean that up, they'll be fine.
And I was doing this sounds so dumb. I was doing like research today just on like horrible teams, like starting horribly and then turning it around. Like the Texans in like 2017, 2018, they had a very similar thing. They started off 0-3 or 0-4, and it's because they turned it over a ridiculous amount the first 4 games. They only turned it over 3 times the rest of the year, and they made the playoffs and they won a wild card game.
Yeah.
So
You
I mean,
never know.
you can turn it around, but they've dug themselves quite a hole, and Vikings fans have every reason to be pissed off right
Like
now.
I said, if they don't beat at least one of the Chiefs and Niners, I think we're done.
Yeah.
Which sucks to say that in fucking September still. But
Hey, we're going into Kirktober. I think
Going into
things-
Kirktober.
things will turn around.
I was actually
True.
surprised the Colts didn't, or the Vikings didn't win, considering there was a shot of Kirk Cousins drinking Gatorade on the sideline at noon. That was really depressing because that pretty much broke the streak. But they do have the Panthers next game. If they can't beat the Panthers, it might be time to start talking about firing some people, trading some people. I mean, 0-4 is going to be a rough start. This is the Thielen revenge game. Thielen might just go off. We have Andy Dalton, the fucking Red Rocket, who will probably be.
I really hope Bryce Young plays because Andy Dalton beats us every year.
Yeah, no matter what team he
does.
plays for.
Or
no matter
comes-
what team he plays for.
Or comes close to beating us.
Yeah, because he was Saints last year and he almost
Yep,
beat us,
and
right?
then he torched us with the Cowboys 2 years ago.
Was he ever the starter
3
for the
years
Bears
ago.
and beat us or no?
Maybe.
I think he
Wouldn't
might have
be
beat us on
surprised.
the Bears as well.
Here's a positive note of encouragement. The last time we played against Carolina was in the 2020 season when KJ Osborne had the game-winning catch
In overtime, right?
in overtime.
Yeah.
So maybe we get a little bit of KJ energy, maybe some JJ energy.
I will tell you, this game will not be a blowout. We're not going to just go in there and
No,
destroy them.
no.
They're going to fuck with us
Greg
again.
Joseph is going to make a 63-yard kick to win it in overtime.
And then we're going to be like, oh, yeah, we won a game, but we also just beat, like, maybe one of the worst teams in the NFL.
On a last-second field goal like that. Yeah, you're right, though. That's Minnesota Vikings football. Honestly, the last time that the Minnesota Vikings played a game where they were ahead early and they kept that big lead was week 1 of the prior season against the Packers. Since then, no game has been close.
I think, too, there's been, out of the last decade maybe or something, there's been 160-some teams that have started 0-3, and maybe like 13 of them made the playoffs. So not great statistically speaking, but unlike Rocco, we're not going to go along with the analytics, and we're just going to hope and pray, and if not, just suck our own toiled cocks, I guess. That's kind of all we have left.
I
at
hope
this
we get
point.
shit AIDS COVID.
Yeah.
And there has been one team in NFL history that started off 0-4 and made the playoffs. So you also have that to look forward to as well if you lose. So there you go.
Good
Okay.
Lord.
On a brighter note, you could say the Wild kicked off preseason this week. As we've mentioned, we're the biggest Wild preseason hockey fans. We are a little disappointed that we can't watch the games. We're recording this Tuesday night. I know we're playing the Stars. I've tried to ask some of my contacts in Dallas to illegally stream the game for me, maybe go and fire a little bootleg Instagram live. But they did play on Sunday against the Avs, and Sammy Walker almost had a hattie. He could have. He had a little 2-on-0, passed it to one of the other teammates that I don't know
Another
the name
Edina
of.
guy, right?
Oh, was it Vinny?
It was
Lettieri?
Vinny. It was Vinny,
Oh, okay,
yeah.
great. Yeah,
Yeah.
Vinny Lettieri. So
No, is he Tonka or is he Edina?
Excelsior, I thought.
Yeah, he's Minnetonka guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So yeah, he could have scored a hattie, but decided to be a good teammate instead. I think Jake told me he texted Billy G and was like, he said something really stupid.
Was it about Sammy?
Oh no! So after Lettieri scored the game or the goal to win it, because I think that was the game-winning goal. Jake just said, Vinny Lettieri just got himself a roster spot, right? Like this is how that works. Because we had a bit last year.
You just made the roster.
Anytime someone scored in the preseason last year, we said that they automatically earn a roster spot per us.
It was like the Walls of Jericho bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but then apparently Billy was calling him some completely different name. Oh, you mean like Charles, or it was something really random? And Jake's like, "What are you talking? Who are you talking about?" And he said it was just the weirdest conversation he's ever had with him. But
we can confront Jake about that next week.
yeah, we're gonna have to ask him about who Billy thought Vinny Lettieri was, or what was going on there.
Mm-hmm. Hey, we'll be at Saturday's preseason game. That'll be
Yeah,
fun. It'll
also,
be nice to be back in the X.
We got to make the graphic. The Minnesota Wild have not lost a game so far.
We do.
Undefeated.
In the regular season, even if it's the preseason.
Yeah, if we can win the game-winning opener, or the home opener, which is going to be against Florida, kind of scary game, then I'll make the graphic that we're undefeated.
Yeah,
I'll do that. I'll see what kind of traction we get from the rest of the league.
They better start Kirill Saturday, man.
Yeah, we're going to be at the game. If you're going to be at the preseason game, hit us up.
Is Bedard going to play?
Well, they're playing Florida, right? No, are they
playing? They're playing
sorry,
Chicago.
we're talking Saturday.
Saturday,
We're going
Chicago,
to go to that
yeah,
preseason game.
You would think because I saw Chicago said they're going to treat him just like every other rookie, and rookies play the preseason.
Yeah, I mean that would make sense, especially if this is supposed to be your guy. Like, give him as much fast-paced NHL experience as he can get. Not that it actually means anything, because Rossi was like the number one player in the preseason last year, and had a rough 13 games to start. But I think you have to play Bedard to just get him some sort of experience before the year starts.
Yeah, I agree, and it'd actually be great to see him live.
Yeah,
one of the first. We'd be one of the first people to see him live in an NHL game, which would be cool.
Yeah. And the final thing I had on the Wild is NHL 24 is starting to release its teasers of the various players in the game and their statistics last season. They released a picture of what Kirill looks like, and it looks nothing like him.
He looks like a Lego character.
It looks like a random AI guy.
It's like you asked an AI image generator to create a picture of Kirill, and it just spits out Matt Boldy when he was in high school.
I like the rating. A 93 is fair for Kirill. I mean, people said it should be a little higher, but 93 is very fair. What's up with EA? They do this with Madden too. They just make people who look nothing like the actual people in the real game. It's very low effort.
Budget cuts.
I think it's a face scan issue. So they have to if they don't have a face scan, they have to make sure they look close to what they look like, which they failed on that part because I don't think his face is scanned. Clearly not.
But just look at
he has brown hair.
Yeah.
NBA 2K though, they seem to do a lot better job overall. Maybe not this year, but in past years, at least they look somewhat like the character. NHL has never looked like the characters ever.
I think every player is face scanned at NBA. Part of that too is every team has 12 players.
Yeah.
So it's probably a lot easier, but at the same time, he doesn't look like Kirill at all.
At least do the face scans with everyone over a 90.
Or don't release hype-up graphics of their in-game character, right?
Yeah. Maybe just try to avoid that.
Yes.
A lot of it is they'll do it at the training camp of the season before, because you have to have the player in person to do the face scan, obviously. So maybe he wasn't accessible. I don't know, but it looks bad.
Yeah, maybe he was still in Russia dealing with.
I think that would make sense because wasn't he delayed getting here last year?
No, he was here for camp though. I thought.
Yeah, but we were afraid he wouldn't be able to get here, especially because the war stuff started. We thought he was going to be drafted or something.
When he went back, it was why? I love when Russo this summer goes, Kirill Kaprizov will not be going back to Russia this year. It's thank God. Why would he even consider it?
Did you hear he went to fucking Turkey with his family for vacation this year? I'm like, Turkey? Come on. Out of all places you're going to Turkey, go to Vegas or something.
Yes, you're a multimillionaire. Take your parents down to South America and go to the Bahamas.
I'm sure there's some lovely places in Turkey. Don't get me wrong, but you're right next to the war zone.
This is an anti-Turkey podcast.
Fuck
now.
Turkey, yeah.
We only like ham.
We only like CJ Ham. We're not fans of turkey or Thanksgiving.
Aren't they're right next to Iraq and Afghanistan and all that. Iran.
I ran to Iraq to get some turkey.
Because isn't Turkey considered Middle East?
Yeah.
So
and it's also a new country too. They used to be part of the Ottoman Empire, and then Turkey came out of it. Yeah.
I love how how there were less countries back in the day. It was easier. It was just these mega territories.
It's Germany was the size of Europe pretty much.
Yeah, in World War II, they're we're just gonna take over Europe. That'll probably work.
And it almost did.
World War II. All right, yeah. I mean, we're happy the Wild are back. We're pumped. I think it's almost 2 weeks from Thursday that the season starts, I believe.
Yeah.
Cam?
Yes. It's I actually was just looking at this today. It's October 15th or something like that.
Okay.
So it's like 2 weeks.
Thankfully, we should be able to beat Florida in the home opener because all of those guys have to be injured still from the Stanley Cup playoffs. That was 4 months ago. Like, Kachuk had a broken sternum. There's no way he's 100% by now. So,
Yeah. I don't know.
he had to get carried into, like, the last game.
The NHL is a pretty short off season. I mean, compared to
It is.
other ones, the season ends in
Especially if you make it the distance.
yeah. If you go to the Stanley
June.
Cup late June, sometimes very late June it'll go into, and then what? I mean, you pretty much got 3 months in the season again.
Yeah, so hopefully they're still beat up from that game and we can sneak out a win.
Talking preseason.
No, I'm talking the first game of the regular
the
season.
opener. Okay.
Because Florida literally was just in the Stanley Cup. So
Yep.
I don't want to just go through what we went through last year with the home opener against New York. Remember how much money we paid to see them lose 4
Yeah,
in a
that was
rip?
depressing.
That was tough.
And then I proceeded to go to the 4 games after that, and we lost all of them. It was great.
Hey, and we got to see Revo beat the shit out of Marcus
yeah.
Foligno.
True.
Marcus Foligno.
Folignoff.
Yeah.
Folignoff.
Beef Marcus Stroganoff.
Yep. All right.
Sorry, I did have one other thing before we transition to the
It's
interview.
Ryder Cup week.
Well, it is.
Oh, we also have the bits,
We
too.
also have the bits.
Oh,
Cam.
that's right. The bits.
Respect the structure. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I blew up. Gopher basketball is back in the news.
Oh no.
And this one is actually positive.
Oh,
Al
wow.
Nolan is the new play-by-play guy.
Al
Or
Nolan.
the new color commentator, I should say.
Okay.
Who was an absolute beauty when he played for the Gophers. Super excited about that. I saw Gopher basketball pull up on Twitter, and I just totally, my pants were tight. Bracketology will be pulled up here in about a month, and we're going to start rolling
The
again.
Gophers aren't going to be in it, are they?
They're going to be so bad.
Hey, you know what? I do like the move, though, of signing a fan favorite as the color commentator because it puts some positivity in the Gopher fans' heads. Like, we're not going to be great this year. Actually, we're probably going to be worse, but at least we got this guy calling the games.
That's impossible. It's not impossible.
We lost our
Never say never.
battle, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's bad.
Transfer portal.
Yeah, you went to Ohio State because of an NIL deal.
Classic.
But they did have Spencer Tollickson forever, who used to play for the Gophers, so they had to do something like this. You can't just fucking replace Spencer Tollickson with, like, Dan Smith. Like, you have to make BYU. You have to make sure it's someone that, like, everybody knows. So I'm excited. We start off against Bethune-Cookman, November 10th.
I mean, if the Gophers have another just absolutely shit year, is Benny over? Is Ben Johnson gone?
I hope so.
We're going to move the team to Vegas.
the Vegas Golden Gophers.
I do. I think I did make a graphic that said like Gopher University officials are considering moving the basketball team to Las Vegas. I think I did that last year.
funny.
People actually liked it.
Yeah, I do think this might be Ben Johnson's on the hot seat,
Okay.
which you never know, though, because, like, Mark Coyle has a hard-on for, like,
Yeah, dude,
like,
honestly,
coaches that used to play.
it seems like a lot of college coaching is like relationship management and how tight you are with the director.
Yeah.
And if you're tight with them, you can be kind of shitty and you'll be around for years.
Are you glad Jake's not here? Because he would be like, well, Cam, everyone wanted to rush Rick Pitino out of town, and I knew he was the guy. And
He wasn't, because he was not doing well here. Like, he's doing good. He's doing okay at New Mexico. Like, I don't think they didn't make the tournament. But
Jake
like,
was like, I was saying we should have hired Mike Musselman from the start. He just
we
kept
were never gonna get Eric
No,
Musselman.
no.
I can
Eric, that's
guarantee
it,
you
yeah.
that, which would be my dream coach.
well, that'd be great, but yeah, that's not going to happen.
Who? So when did he have the Cinderella run? What team was that?
So Eric Musselman had a Sweet 16 run with Nevada.
Yes,
Two years in a row, maybe.
Yeah,
And then he's been with Arkansas and has just been
killing it.
super good, except they can't get out of the second weekend.
But
they make it
though.
to
Yeah.
the
But
Sweet
they're all
16
they're
almost all the
they're
time.
always there though. They're always in the mix.
Yeah.
so.
Has UND made the basketball tournament more recently than the fucking
I
Gophers?
thought they made it.
We made it in 2018.
Wait.
No, 2016, Zane, when we were freshmen.
we were.
I
in
thout it
college.
was.
We got
yeah,
absolutely
they played-
bent out. We got
they played
throat
it-
fucked by Arizona.
Arizona, yeah.
Got TF'd.
Well, they play in the Summit League, and
Summit, yeah.
that league is literally just ran by South Dakota State and NDSU.
Yeah.
just like their
Right.
football. Like, it
Right.
doesn't matter. They like switch off every year.
When does the Gophers last make the tourney?
2018.
Gophers. Wow, you're putting me on the spot.
You're just great. You're like Jake. You're an
know.
encyclopedia when it comes to
It's
it.
been way too long. Well, the last time we made the tournament was when we were there, when Jake and I were both there, and we didn't know each other at the time, but it was in Iowa. Gabe Kalsher hit like a game-winning, well, not game-winning, but like closed out the game against Louisville, and then we lost to Michigan State. I want to say it was before COVID.
Oh, so it's probably 2018. Probably.
I think it was
2018, right?
2019.
Okay. Okay.
All
That
right.
makes sense.
I think it was a year before COVID.
All right. Well,
Turn it around, Gopher basketball. Let's go.
Yeah, let's figure it out. Before we get into Gabe Henderson. We're gonna do our bits of the week, I guess. So producer Cam, yeah,
because I tried to skip over it.
yeah.
I have the shorts at the turn bit. This is fucked. So everyone is like,
It sounds like you shot yourself and had to change it.
what it
oh
sounds like.
God.
But that didn't happen. Thank
Okay.
God.
Okay.
Like the dog at the turn is the greatest thing in all of sports. So me and my buddy were playing at Theodore Wirth, one of my favorite golf courses that everyone hates.
Yeah, one that made your top 5.
Yeah.
Was it like number 2 on your list?
No, it was like number 5.
Oh, okay.
Inverwood number 1. Cam was quote unquote inbred with these picks, is what people on Instagram said.
But I went into the clubhouse, and I went to go piss, and my shorts that I was wearing, they're not too small for me. Like, they were perfectly normal size. There was nothing wrong with them. I go to, like, unbutton my pants or my shorts to pee, and the button just flies off and goes into the urinal. So I had to buy fucking brand new shorts that were like $70.
So you gave
At
up.
the
You
turn.
gave up on that. You gave up on that button.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna grab it out of the
Okay,
urinal.
just ask it. Some people
Could
would
use a
have.
paper towel.
Yeah, you could have.
No.
You could have.
I think those are just going away.
Those shorts are getting thrown in the trash
Yeah.
outside of the clubhouse.
I didn't shit myself though, so that's
okay.
good.
No belt then? You didn't have a belt to just hold those bitches together for the rest of the round?
I am trying to think.
Because I just know people who will show up to golf and then they'll just buy a $200 sweatshirt for no reason, right? Like,
Yeah.
so
I
like,
forgot my belt.
and then play slots.
Yeah, they'll play 7 holes of golf and then get a rain check and then play slots.
I forgot my belt.
Oh, so that makes sense.
See-
Okay. How were they expensive shorts?
Yeah, they're $70.
Yeah,
bucks.
they're golf clubhouse.
They are
shorts.
nice. They're Swannies.
Okay.
So
It
they are
is.
nice,
It's
but-
fairly impressive though that you had to go buy new shorts at the turn and you didn't poop your pants.
That's why I was pissed. I would have rather have shit myself.
It would have been a better
It
story.
would have been a better story.
I seriously, yeah, it was. I was so mad.
Yeah.
My buddy was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I'm like, "Just take my wallet, take my keys,
know-
take everything. I gotta go change."
Oh,
I bet.
okay.
I bet in the what was the tournament? The Wyndham Championship. Lucas Glover wishes that he could have gotten a different pair of pants at the turn. Remember when he was sweating so bad that it was like his pants were just completely soaked? I bet he wishes he could do that bit.
Does a PGA have a rule that like once you wear your outfit on hole 1, that's the same clothes?
I
you
don't
can
know,
wear?
but either they do or he just had too much pride to just go into a
Change it.
bathroom and change pants.
Yeah,
and
no,
just into black.
that shirt was a completely new color by the time he was done
So
with
he's
it.
a very sweaty guy, and he just does not prepare for 2 rounds of clothing articles.
Wasn't it
especially.
already fucked on the range?
Oh, yeah. So his shirt was already a different color on the driving range, and then he wore tan pants in the middle of Georgia in August. So
You got to think he should know though. He's a sweaty person. You should dress for that. Wear a black.
you
shirt.
should wear black everything.
Yeah, exactly. Or like just dark colors
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
So that's definitely one guy who wishes he could do the shorts at the turn bit. The bit. All right, Wags, what do you got?
I got the now I see bit. This is when you don't know why something happens and then you experience it in real life and you're like, ah, shit, this is why this happens, right? And this is going to be in reference to NFL fans fighting every single week. We see a new fight video, normally of the same fans, but sometimes of opposing fans. Fuck, even last week I think someone died from a fight. And,
Yeah,
and
New
then-
England,
Yeah,
RIP.
super, super sad. I've never understood the fight thing until the Vikings game last Sunday.
Oh,
Turnover happens, late in the fourth quarter. Chargers knee the clock out, game's over. People start leaving. Jake and I are gonna wait for Cam to come, right? So we're just waiting in our seats. We're standing up, we're letting people walk by us to go. About 4 or 5 minutes into that, a guy just says, "Oh, you guys are gonna fucking stand here all fucking day?" And Jake and I were like, "What?" He's like, "Get out of my fucking way!" And we're like, "Dude, you could have walked around us this whole time." He was mad because we didn't leave when the whistle was over and we just stayed in our seats. He walked up to Jake and I. He started threatening us. He said that we're just sitting around all day. We're ruining experiences, and then he just left. That was unprovoked, and it was just because he was very angry at the end of the game because the Vikings lost, and we're Vikings fans. He tried to fight Jake and I because we didn't leave as soon as the ref blew the fucking whistle.
Yeah,
That's insane.
And so if you're going to do that to your own fans who's sitting right next to you the whole game, I think we even gave the guy a high five at one point during the game. I can understand a lot more now why fights happen every single weekend in the NFL.
How did you guys not say anything back?
We did. We immediately said you could have walked around us the whole time. Oh, fuck you. And no, fuck you. Of course, by the time he's halfway up the stairs is when Jake starts talking. He doesn't talk in the actual he never talks in the confrontation. It's just me and this guy going. The guy takes a few steps up the stairs and Jake just turns, and that's when Jake lets out to him, "Suck a fucking dick, man," as he's going up the stairs, So
God, Jake just has to wait because he
Yes.
doesn't want to get hit.
he loves getting that last word in, and I just started laughing when Jake did it, and I was just like, oh, God.
You guys, dude, can you imagine if a fight video comes out and it's you two? Like, it's the 10K takes guys just beating up some old man.
Oh, God, it was so annoying. And, of course, all the fans around us were just shit-talking Kirk during the game. And I'm sitting right next to the one person in the universe who will defend Kirk no matter what. So someone behind us will say, oh, God, that's a late pass. And then I just hear Jake even louder. Of course it's late. He has no time. And it's like every time someone was saying something negative about Kirk, Jake would respond even louder to the person. And I'm surprised he actually didn't get into more confrontations last Sunday.
Jake going to Vikings games is reckless.
Jake going to sporting events in general, there's always something that happens. Someone always gets mad at him or mad at us, or he gets mad at someone. It's pretty rare that there's a very stable, normal experience when you go anywhere with Jake, actually, relatively.
Growing up, I think we all went to hundreds of sporting events growing up with our friends, with our family, or whatever. Never, ever have I ever had issues unless I was with Jake.
Yeah.
Jake is 100% where the issues come from. I don't understand it because he is a genuinely nice guy. Just sometimes people just don't like him when they're around him.
Well, it's probably because he'll like start announcing the game.
He will.
Play by play for a minute or 2 minutes straight, and it gets really annoying.
And he can never be wrong.
No, yeah, he definitely cannot be wrong, especially when it comes to Kirk, though. And I really learned that last Sunday.
Yeah, that is funny though. That just shows how much 0-3 is affecting this fan base. Like, we're imploding on ourselves.
Yeah.
You shouldn't go after your own kind, regardless of what happens, let alone at the end of the game.
So then after all this happens, just Jake, Cam, and I sitting there, because obviously you don't want to leave right away. At U.S. Bank, it's like a clusterfuck as you're leaving, so we like to wait in the seats 10, 15 minutes. A Vikings fan comes walking up the stairs at a certain point, and he sees us. He's like, guys, it's only a game. Don't look so sad. I wanted to just right there to stand up and say, fuck you, dude. Okay, I spent good money to come here. This is the second home game I've went to this year, and both of the times at the end of the game, the opposing team's fans are the ones cheering and taking pictures down there. I'm not happy right now.
He didn't even, he stopped walking.
Yeah, he had to stop and say, it's okay, guys.
I didn't even acknowledge him. I'm like, if I say something, I'm going to fucking get in a fight.
Yeah. He was a planted Chargers fan who was there to just piss off Vikings fans. That guy was a plant.
Oh, hey, guys, it's going to be okay. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
It's like, actually, it's not going to be okay.
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah.
My life sucks now.
All I have is this, okay?
Did you see I tweeted the meme the next morning of Vikings fans at the water cooler today, and it's just the guy who was a psychopath on the golf course with his shirt off. Like, I'm ready to fight anyone who's about to talk ill will about the Vikings.
Dude, I actually respect that guy so much. He turned from 0 to 100 so quick, and he has such a soft body, and he was so confident. So you want to mess with this?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a tough start, but a lot of football left, fellas. We'll just we'll take that guy's side and probably be wrong.
It's fine.
Yeah. So I'll close us out here. I have the fuck your fantasy results bit. We're at the point of the year where I'm getting annoyed of people who just want to sit there and tell me about their fantasy football teams, about the results. And if you show me your phone, if you show me a score of your phone where you lose by 0.2. I'm just gonna absolutely bat your phone down. I'm gonna get angry because I don't care about your fantasy team. I don't need to be walked through what each of your players did and what each of their players did. I don't have the phone in front of me, so it's hard for me to visualize that without seeing your phone. And I don't want to see your phone because I'm in enough fantasy leagues myself, and I don't need to see it. Are you Pat? God damn it! Get your fucking fantasy. You have 9 leagues, so I really don't need to see anything of yours. Absolute parody at this point.
I knew that would just.
But
drive me nuts.
it's the same people who have to walk you through their golf round and tell you about every shot of every hole.
Yeah.
It's like okay, would you care if I started doing this to you? And they'd probably go, like, truthfully, not really. Okay, then don't do it to me, you dickhead.
Yeah, like if I ask, I'm actually curious about your golf round, but if I didn't ask, I don't care because in the end, when you shoot a good score in golf, who cares? It's only you who cares,
yeah,
right?
And let's be honest about the human race for a second. We only care about ourselves. No one gives enough of a shit about you to look at all 12 of your fantasy football teams and all the matchups and get walked through every single reason why you lost or won this week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, everyone only cares about their own teams.
Exactly.
So,
and here, it's one thing if it's like from week to week, just like you're saying, like it's week 4 and they're like, hey, look at my team, I'm 3-0, right? But it's like if you're gonna show me your championship winning team, that's one thing, okay? If
sure,
you won
okay,
a yeah. But if you're gonna show me your week 4 results, shoot yourself.
Or yeah.
Dude, I don't care at this point.
It's a pet peeve of mine till the end of time, and especially right after someone drafts a team and they're like, look at this team. They're like, do you think this is good? I'm like, I don't know. None of these players have played a snap yet. Like they could all tear their ACLs week 1.
It's true. They honestly could.
It bothers me so much, but
see, I'm the opposite.
Where you're like, show me your fantasy team. Let's look through this.
You'll take as much in as you can.
Yeah, I don't care.
But again,
Cam, get a hobby.
That is
his hobby. See, some people watch TV or
I don't watch
play
TV.
video games
I play
or
some video
watch
games,
movies or go out to malls. But
sports are my hobby.
Cam just spends every waking moment.
I'm a perfect man for the company.
Go outside and go for a walk. Look at birds.
Do you know how many steps I put in a day? I think I'm done walking by the time I'm done with work.
How many breaths of fresh air do you take a day, though?
A lot. I have to go outside to tag up cars and meet tow truck drivers.
Sorry, he just answered that question. No hesitate. A lot.
Well, a lot of. What's the over/under on fresh breaths you take a day?
Jack, have you been wearing your watch all day?
I have.
How many steps? You did go in today, so it might be.
Yeah, but that's not even. I mean, he's a
That's
desk
not fair,
employee.
though.
You're not a desk employee.
How many?
I have a desk.
How many letters did you type today?
A lot. I write up tickets. I write
Okay.
emails. That's what. How many steps you at?
It's like not working.
No, it's not working.
It's not telling me.
It is. I'm looking.
Mine's
I'm
actually
2,200.
Mine's low today. 2,200. I'm at 8,600, which is super low. Like for me, when I leave work, it's like 1,200.
Wow, sick.
Or 12,000.
Congrats on being fit.
Round of applause for Cam Steps.
You were coming after me. I just had to say like.
Come on,
You're
we're not gonna get in a fight over steps right
Well, I
now.
need you-
We're getting into a fight over steps.
I need someone to take Jake's spot. So.
I wonder how many steps Jake takes a day. Actually, probably a lot because
Yeah,
he
'cause
just.
he just fucking runs.
I don't
in
know what he
places.
does.
back and forth.
He's got
in
a
his own
goddamn hamster wheel in his room.
It's where he falls asleep too. All right, let's take a quick commercial break and we'll go into our interview with Gabe.
Ladies and gentlemen, football season is back, and you already know that by how many tiers are currently on your sweatshirt. So that's why we have new sweatshirts here at 10,000 Takes, Minnesota Vikings related, to get you through your current tier-soaked sweatshirts. Go to 10ktakesmn.com. Go to the shop tab. There you're going to see all of our exclusive 10K Vikings merch. We got great things from gritty hoodies, gritty hats. We got all great Vikings merch, but we have more than just the Vikings. We got the Minnesota Twins. We got plenty of merch for them. Go and buy some of their merch right now as they are entering into the postseason, and we're going to have wild merch very, very soon. So once again, go to 10ktakesmn.com, go to the shop tab, give it a browse, check it out, see if you like anything on there.
All right, welcome back to It's a Bit. We're joined by a recurring guest, good friend of the program. We got Gabe Henderson. He's on-air talent for the Minnesota Vikings, both digitally and on the radio. I did mention in the intro that we scheduled this interview like a month ago, not knowing how the Vikings would be 3 weeks into the season. And there was probably a part of us that knew that there was a possibility we could be 0-3 going into this interview, but here we are. So it's great to see you. It's not great that we're going to have to talk about a lot of downside things, but it is great to see you again.
Man, likewise. It's good to see you guys. I mean, we all figured it would be, 3-0, 2-1. So to be at this point, it is unfortunate, but the good thing is winning is contagious, and hopefully we can get a win against the Panthers this coming Sunday.
Yeah, fingers crossed. We're dying for a win right now. But before we dive into the Vikings, I think we also want to say shout out to you. Congratulations on getting your high school jersey retired. That's absolutely awesome, man. And what was that experience like, dude?
Man, it was. I still honestly haven't put it into words. Just to be able to get that honor, have that experience, have my family and my friends there. Man, it's surreal. Like it's literally surreal. So I look at my jersey. I don't have my jersey now. My mom wouldn't let me take it back to Minnesota. So she's like, nah, this jersey stays in the house. So I haven't seen it outside of that night. But man, it's like one of the best honors I've ever had in my life. So I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, that's super awesome. I wish I was good enough at any sport in high school to even have my face anywhere in the building, which I doubt it is. But I guess being a fourth spot varsity ringer on the golf team doesn't quite earn me a jersey retirement. But yeah, congrats on that. That's super awesome.
Yeah, do you ever retire from golf anyways?
No. I'm
a
ongoing athlete at this point. So I guess kind of before we get into the Vikes, do you do anything else content wise, like non-football related, that you work on, or is there anything else in the works that you like to kind of dabble around with even during the season?
Yeah, so I think this year for sure I've been doing a lot more outside of the Vikings as far as just community, this past week, hosted Cal Rudolph's retirement party, and I was through the Masonic Children's Hospital. We're doing some stuff with a couple of local companies around here. I don't want to speak on it too soon, but it's slowly. I think one of my goals when I got here was to get more involved in the community. Like I understand the reach that the Vikings have, and I love it. Like I love my job every day, but still being able to. I mean, I've been here 3 years now, so it's like I really got to start making this place home, and getting out in the community has been like one of those key things that's made this transition as smooth as it has been thus far, especially in these winter months that's about to come up. I'm like, I got to tap into this community, or I'm just gonna be in my house.
Yeah,
Cold as mess.
So would you say that Minnesota is finally starting to feel like home, or do you think there's still a little bit of work to go?
Yeah, Minnesota is slowly starting to feel like home. It took about 2 good years. I feel like once you get past that second winter, that's when you mentally start preparing yourself to just be cold. And I feel like once you like get, I don't know, this is just me. Like once you mentally get past that, like you're good. Like you can function, you can get everything done that you need to get done. And the fact that our sports teams were good last year, the Wolves made the playoffs. Once our season ended late January, it was already getting to Wolves season. So like there were still things to do, but yeah, it's starting to feel like home a little bit now.
Yeah, it's El Nino this year, so apparently it's going to be a nice, warm, mild winter for Minnesota, allegedly, so we can keep our fingers crossed for that.
yeah.
Man, I know you see my eyes like so big right now. Like that would be great.
Yeah.
If it stay, I know it's like 82 this weekend, so I'm like, look, if it's like that in October, that's a luxury at this point.
Yeah, and it'd be sweet if we could actually have fall this year. Like last year, we only had that crisp 50-degree true football weather for only a good, I feel like, few weeks, and then it was
winter.
It was winter already.
Last year, and after that happened, the season seemed to turn around. So we're hoping that the same thing's going to happen this year.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's the case, you might as well just have me on after every loss.
Actually, that's a good point.
I'll join, and maybe that's the good luck charm that we need for 10K takes. But I'm hoping. I mean, our losses have been so close, right? Like,
yeah.
Every single loss is like what are we doing? And then I mean, we turn it around, and Kevin O'Connell made the statement this week of, if guys don't want to hold on to the football, we're going to find guys that will. So that's literally our Achilles heel right now. But as long as it turns into wins after this podcast, that's all that matters.
Dude,
yeah.
we couldn't do the weekly or like segment with Gabe Henderson, and there will be even times where we have nothing to talk about. It's just as a formality, so we win. So we like ask you to break down what you had for lunch today, and that's just what the segment is. We're like, all right, sweet, see you, Gabe, and we've just secured another Vikings win due to superstition. So you never know.
So there was a point during my first year, the Wild were in the playoffs, and every time PA had me on, they won. So I believe they got to the second round, and when I was not on, they lost. So I would come on every single time they played, and I think the last time that they got on, it was I think it was against the Blues. It was Game 7, and I wasn't on, and they lost. I'm not saying I'm good luck or bad luck, but
no, it
has been done before.
It sounds like we need you with PA for every Wild playoff game. That team needs some help in the playoffs. Heck, all of Minnesota teams need help in the playoffs. We just need you to for the Twins playoff games. You better be there, okay?
Or just figure out that thing that's going to work to make them win, because we haven't won a playoff game since I was 7 years old. So that would be fantastic.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
We need that bad.
This year's like here, I guess then.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, yeah, going into the Vikings, like I said, we didn't know we'd be 0-3 at this point and already behind the 8 ball. But what do you think is the easiest, most immediate solution to not lose games, especially with what should be a slam dunk against the Panthers coming? Actually, there's no such thing as like a slam dunk in the NFL, especially for a Minnesota team. But what do you think is like what they need to do this week to just get this win and get this monkey off their back?
I think, one, the obvious answer is focus, right? I mean, when you fumble the ball as many times as the Vikings have, you just say, okay, we need to buckle up our focus. But I'm also on the side of the fence of saying, look, you guys have been playing this sport since you were 5. Remember that feeling that you had when you ran out on the football field for the first time? Like you just enjoyed it. You didn't care about anything. Like I'm honestly thinking if that's the speech this week, because last week the focus was on ball security. They heightened up the drills, added more equipment to kind of get the guys prepared for the Chargers. And granted, it was only 2 turnovers or 3 turnovers, but it was 2 turnovers, but it was like at the most inconvenient time. So I think at this point it's more so like, look, we know you guys can ball. We know this is a good team. Just go out there and have fun. Also hold them to the football while you're at it, but
Yeah.
just don't overthink it at this point.
What is the feeling like inside the Vikings building right now? Just at 0-3, do you sense that there's optimism still? Do you sense that they still think that they can do something with this team, or do you think all hell's gone loose?
Nah, I think the vibe that I've gotten so far is that winning and losing is both contagious, right? So you lose one, you can lose another one, you lose another one. It's hard to get back on track. So the fact that the Panthers are still trying to find their identity at this point, all the Vikings have to do is get one win, get that feeling, get the locker room spirits up. And I think we all know we need the spirits up before we play the Chiefs. I mean, it kind of speaks for itself. So the energy isn't low. I've been in Washington. I worked for the Commanders for 2.5 years. I know we talked about that on the previous podcast I was on with you guys, and I was there for a 3-13 season as well as a 6-10 season. And Kevin O'Connell was in that same building that I was in, and the vibe then versus the vibe now was still night and day. Like the energy is still up here with the Vikings, and guys know that they can win. So it's just a matter of just proving it out there on film.
Speaking of being in the building, I've had this running theory with the fumbles that there's an inside horse that's probably maybe someone who works on behalf of the Packers, the Lions, or even possibly the Bears that's managing the footballs and is actually spraying cooking spray or buttering up the balls before the drive, hence making them slippery and creating what I call our own Deflategate, Buttergate. Out of a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you believe in that theory? And do you sense that there is someone on the inside who's fucking this up for us?
I don't think it's any Crisco on the football.
Crisco related.
That people are yeah. But I mean, if that's the case, we need to hit up Jerry Rice. I think Jerry Rice used to put like the stickums on his glove when he played. And that kind of, I think it got banned, but. Hey, at this point, whatever works, whatever we have to do to just hold on to the football and get rid of that Crisco gate.
Yeah. Or what Cam said, Land O'Lakes, because they're the main sponsor of the Vikings. One of them.
They're on the hot seat.
Land O'Lakes is on the hot seat still, as far as we're concerned, but we're just in the media, so what we say can be taken with a grain of salt.
This is ridiculous.
I don't even know how you follow that up.
I don't either.
I got a good follow-up question to that, okay? Alexander Mattison, right? Some struggles early on. Do we expect to see Cam Akers as RB1, or are we still rolling with Mattison next week?
Dude, that's a great question. And my initial thought process is that we possibly will see Cam Akers at some point, if not this week, then in the coming weeks, simply because the Vikings just terminated the contract of Myles Gaskin, the guy that we got right after. I think it was right before the season started. He was added to our initial 53-man roster, and the fact that he's not on the team anymore, he was active the past few weeks. That only raises eyebrows to say, okay, is Cam Akers the guy now? You traded for him, and now he's here, and we could use. I love Alex. I think Alex is he's a guy that needs a rhythm. He's a guy that when he is on, he is on. But yeah, this is football. If having Cam Akers playing running back, if that's going to help Alexander Mattison ultimately help this entire team, then I'm all for it. But with that termination of Myles Gaskin's contract, I could see Cam Akers possibly getting some run in the coming days, coming weeks at this point.
Yeah.
What about Ty Chandler? He actually played, in the few opportunities he got last week. He looked pretty good. I mean, do you see more touches for him in the future?
Yeah, I mean it's only one football, right?
Yeah.
So, and Ty is one of those guys where he's came in and he's had big runs. So it's all right, this is fresh legs, cold, but still making plays. So it'll be interesting to see how it all works. The good thing about Cam Akers is he doesn't really have to learn the entire playbook over. This is similar plays from when Kevin O'Connell was the offensive coordinator in LA. So it'll be interesting to see, but you just want competition at this point. Competition makes everybody better. So let the best man win at this point.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we thought the wide receiver situation was going to be, at least for wide receiver 2 between Addison and KJ. So you're absolutely right there. But Kind of going into some of the stuff you do with the Vikings, I really liked that video series you had this summer called Chopped Up with Gabe Henderson, where it was getting hair. It was the players would get haircuts while you interviewed them. And were there ever any guys who were like, "Hey man, I don't need a haircut right now. Like, can I just answer the questions?" Or were they all down to get like at least some sort of touch up?
It's crazy. So the first episode, guys were actually Jordan Hicks actually got a haircut, and then someone at the end stayed to get a haircut. But as we continue to move on, guys had already had lineups. So the one that we did with Brian Asamoah, Lewis Seen, and Andrew Booth Jr. is literally like he's just touching up the side of his head, like just staying out of the way of the camera. It's all obvious at this point. But, I mean, you guys know, or maybe you guys don't, but like in the barbershop community, like you only have one barber. Like you only let one guy touch your head because it's kind of like cheating on your girlfriend if you go to another barber. It's like, look, now I'm on camera with this guy that's not my main barber. Like, look,
I'm in trouble.
You can make believe, right? Exactly. You can make believe, but don't cut me up. My guy back at my former barbershop is going to get mad. But yeah, we've had a couple of guys get their haircut, but the show is probably 20 minutes long and the haircut takes 30. So
yeah,
it's just that balancing act of not making the guy look crazy with like, a fade on this side and then like afro on the other versus like, look, just do your haircut and then we're going to line you up once the actual show starts.
Do you use the same barber for every episode?
This year we did.
Okay.
This year, the barber this year is different from the one from last year, but yeah, this year we did. He's a team barber.
He's a team barber?
Yeah.
That's sick. I was gonna say if you ever have any last minute cancellations on that and the barber's already in the building, hit me up to do an episode from a media member's perspective, because I would love to save $20 from a Great Clips haircut that I have to get once every 2 months. So I'm always an option if you ever need a last minute fill-in guy.
You know what? I'm gonna keep you in my thoughts.
All right. Throw me on the reserve. Yeah, if everyone else on the 52-man roster can't make it, then yeah, you hit me up. I'll save $20. I'd be eternally grateful for that.
We'll see what we can do for you.
All right.
I think I know a guy.
All right.
A lot of fans were pretty upset after last week's game against the Chargers about KOC and Kirk. I guess pretty much saying that a lot of the chaos in the last 30 seconds or so of the game was because of the crowd noise and that we were too loud. I was just wondering your thoughts on that and I guess the whole situation there.
Yeah, it's still kind of a tricky situation because the initial thought process is going back to the quarterback documentary when I believe it was the Bills game and Kirk called a play. I don't know if it was the Bills game, but Kirk called a play and then Kevin O'Connell called a timeout or something happened. It was like, dude, like Kevin's like, just trust me. Like, I got you. I'm here to put you in a situation to win. But at the same time, Kevin always talks about letting Kirk lead, like letting Kirk be himself. So it's all, I look at it as it's all hypotheticals and all 2020. Like in hindsight, this is what it would have looked like. Like if Kirk would have thrown a touchdown in that last play and then listened to his coach, we'd all be like, man, Kirk is Mahomes-esque. But the fact that it didn't work is, now we have these conversations. So I think it's a balance in that, man. I know that kind of sounds political, but just playing the position in college and, coach just leaning on you to make plays and just use your discretion because the coach isn't out there. You are. You balance. It's hard to balance of like, coach, just let me be. Like, I'm the one filling the game. Like, let me be versus I'll let you be. But if it doesn't work out, look, it is what it is. So I think the chemistry is going to get better as we move forward. But, yeah, it's just unfortunate. I think that's a, hindsight type of deal.
Yeah.
Just didn't work out. That's just my opinion.
Oh, do you think Vikings fans overall, though, need to be smarter in that moment and be a little quieter, or do you not blame them because it was pretty exciting?
I mean, there's always – I mean, it's a saying you always want to – I mean, what's the sign? It's like quiet at work, offense working.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's what you would expect when the Vikings are on offense. I know there were a few times where Kirk and the sideline, they were like, yo, calm down. So – but at the same time, it is US Bank Stadium. So it's like you want the fans to be into it inside, excited and whatnot. So hopefully, this is a learning situation for everybody, and hopefully we can build from this.
Yeah, that was I think the most we've ever talked about the fan base's role Since last year when we played against the Giants in the playoffs and we were trying to make sure everyone was super loud because one of the players on
A lineman
was like, "Oh, that was the quietest stadium I've ever played in." It's like, okay, but it was kind of weird to hear how loud it was when you look at, I mentioned earlier in the show, like Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. Like how much those crowds respected them at work, how dead silent those stadiums would be when those guys run offense. So it's one of those things where it's like you can never take the crowd as a factor because, like, what if that game was on the road? It'd be the same story. But it was just egregiously loud in there for a time when they need to communicate, and they clearly were I feel like it adds to the stress, too.
Yeah. Well, and I was Jake and I were at the game, and so was Cam, and it just everyone around me was just screaming, "Clock it!" That's what the noise I felt like was everyone screaming to clock the ball.
Yeah, and I wholeheartedly understand.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I understand both perspectives in this situation where fans, I don't know, it's football, right? Like, you want to stop the clock, you're in the goal line, but at the same time, I look at it and say, well, Kirk's the one playing. So if Kirk feels different, if that's like, if he sees something that we don't, then look, I'm gonna just roll. Like, let's just roll with it. So, but I mean, I don't blame our fan base. Like, I don't blame our fan base for feeling that way. I feel like both things are warranted.
Yeah.
We wanted them to spike it, and Kirk was like, I was actually feeling this in the moment, and he's the guy that has the franchise in his hands at that moment. So may the best man win at that point.
Do you think there are any validity to these Kirk trade rumors? I don't think there is. Especially, it sounds like you're making it sound like the Vikings still feel like they can turn this thing around. But have you heard any validity to these rumors?
No, I haven't heard anything. And I say that because it's so hard for a quarterback in this league to learn a playbook, unlearn a playbook, go to another team at the trade deadline, and then try to get that team to the playoffs, not knowing anything. So the quarterback position is so hard to make a trade deadline decision like that. I think the last trade deadline decision or trade that we've had at quarterback was Trey Lance, and that happened before the season started. And the reason why, he's not really, I don't know if he's inactive, like a healthy scratch. He just doesn't know the playbook. So imagine putting Kirk in that situation on another team. Like, that's, you're not setting him up for success. And for him, he has a no trade clause. So he wants to be, stationed somewhere where he knows actually what's going on and don't have to overthink it. So I think the trade rumors are kind of premature right now.
Well, and if you mentioned the quarterback documentary, you see the work that goes into learning one of those playbooks. It's insane. Like, you have Mariota's wife, like, it's his fucking 6th grade science test doing the flash. It's nuts. There's no way that, a quarterback, on top of all the stress and pressure and having to meet new teammates, coaches, schemes, to learn that different language they have to make up. There's just no way it would ever happen. And plus, you're right, he has that no trade clause. I love how much people talk about it, considering the fact that he has a no trade clause in his contract. It's bananas.
Yeah, that's power, if you ask me.
Yeah.
What about Dalton Reisner? A lot of people thought he was going to start last week. He didn't. Do you see him starting week 4?
That's a great question. Honestly, only reason why I'll say I don't know is because we haven't had practice yet. So we're recording this on a Tuesday. The first practice was on Wednesday, and I haven't seen, like, the rotation. Last week, Dalton was literally on the side, like, just trying to learn the plays with a white sheet of paper in his hand. So I'm sure he'll be ready whenever his number is called. He kind of strikes me as a gamer, one of those guys where if he gets in and he doesn't know the play, he's just going to look over to either Christian Darrisaw or Brian O'Neill and say, what do I do here? Am I blocking up to the linebacker, or am I, like, pulling? And he's going to figure it out. So I don't know right now, but it's good to have him that's a quality backup right now.
Oh,
it's a really quality backup.
When you saw him tweet out the picture of the list of flights like a month ago, did you buy into that like most other Vikings fans did, even though Minneapolis was 4 of 200 flights on that list? Were you confident that was going to happen?
I was not.
Yeah.
Like, when have we ever seen someone talk to or tweet at a team on Twitter, and then eventually that team signs them?
Never.
That never happened. So it's kind of like it almost seems fake. So I wasn't buying into it. But the fact that he's here, I'm like, oh shoot, like let's ride.
Yeah.
Let's do it. So
Yeah, that was hilarious because he just tweeted out that picture with the eyeballs emoji, and they're like, "Oh, guys, Minneapolis is 3 flights on there." And I'm like, "That's every place in the country because
Yes.
we're a massive international hub." But to all those people who might have, gotten a little too excited, they were right. Which you're right is pretty unprecedented, at least in terms of pro sports and people in media. But do you think if he would come in if his number got called, is he replacing Ed Ingram or Ingram?
honestly, I think at this point it's the guy that's not playing the best.
Yeah.
And the fact that what's his name, Dalton Reisner, has played left guard most of his career, that is a thing that tells me he's versatile, because if he can play right guard, if something happens, he can always go back to left. So the fact that you have that versatility to move back and forth, that helps. I'm not sure if he's played center at all, but that interior line position, like that's key. And I'm not sure. I mean, Ed Ingram had a hell of a practice last week, and kind of like Alexander Madison, right? Like you bring guys in to push your starters, and if that's what it takes for all of our starters to take that next step in their game, man, can we have 70 guys on every team's active roster just so you can have that competition, because I believe it makes the entire NFL better.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. My final question before we get into a guessing game here is about Adam Thielen. I think he had over 100 yards last week. Are you feeling an Adam Thielen revenge game this week?
It depends on who's that quarterback. If Bryce Young is that quarterback, then I don't believe Adam Thielen will have as big of a day as he had last week in Seattle. If Andy Dalton is that quarterback, I do believe Adam is going to be on his toes. Like, all right, I know I'm getting the ball. I know this guy knows where to throw it to me, and he's going to try to make some plays. But I mean, just like Adam knows our offense, our defense knows Adam. So it'll be a really fun battle, but I'm excited to see that come to fruition, man. Like, Adam is one of my guys. So I texted him the other day. It was like, look, I'm so excited to see you. Don't go for 100 against us. Like,
Yeah.
Don't go for 100. So
yeah, if he's a true Minnesotan, he's not going to go for 100.
No, he can't.
Against us.
That would be like treason. You can't do that to us. Yeah.
You said it would be like treason. That's funny.
Yeah. It'd be messed up. He was born here. He would probably be letting people in his extended family down, because like while they're rooting for him in Carolina, they're still Vikings fans. They're lifelong Vikings fans before he was even born. So yeah, it'd be absolute treason. But you kind of mentioned how he's your guy. You're texting. You probably know a lot of players better than anyone else out there. So we're gonna play a little guessing game where we're gonna list some different Vikings players or staff and just ask you a question about them based on what a lot of this is probably assumptions, but you also might know the answer. So if you're ready to play, yeah, let's do it. All right, you want to start?
Yeah, I can start. So Kirk Cousins, if Kirk Cousins chose any song for karaoke, what do you think it would be? What would
after a couple Roy Rogers?
After a couple Roy Rogers and a Vikings Sunday afternoon win, what song is Kirk Cousins choosing for his karaoke?
I can see "Shut Up and Dance with Me."
I suppose. Yeah.
I can see him hitting that note. This moment is my destiny, like that. Yeah, I can see. I'm not going to try to hit it, but you know what I'm saying. Like if Kirk hit that high note, that's probably the song that
the dude has the voice to do it for sure.
Since Tom's been gone, that was a great cover he did.
Oh yeah, Blink-182 cover too.
Oh, yeah, that one too. Obviously, Pretty Woman.
Yeah, Pretty Woman
is in his arsenal.
We have I don't think this will ever release, but we have a video in our archives of Kirk. I can't think of what song he was singing. It was at practice during training camp this year. It was a night practice, and he was literally singing his heart out. So what we did, we basically made a compilation with like the actual song, and then Kirk like singing it with like different shots of like Kirk in games, and then going back to him like actually singing the song. It'll never make the light of day.
Damn.
That sounds great though.
He's a singer.
You just dangled $100 bill in front of us and then just pulled it away. Maybe if he won a Super Bowl, would the Vikings post it?
Probably.
You probably twist his arm on that one.
Yeah, I don't even know if Kirk has seen this video, which is
Oh
crazy.
shit. Okay, so it's that deep. It might be on the dark
Yeah.
web somewhere. That might be the only place we can find it. All right, Ivan Pace Jr. How many fifth graders do you think he could fend off in self-defense? He's a pretty physical dude from what we've seen.
He's jacked.
He's fucking huge, and talk about making an impact. That's what that guy's doing. You think he could take on a whole classroom of fifth graders?
What's the average teacher to student ratio in elementary? Like 25-1?
Yeah, something like
25
that.
to 30 maybe in a
Yeah.
larger school.
Yeah, I would say probably around 10. Then he could probably fend off about 10, and then
Start getting overpowered.
yeah, he's still young. Some of that vision comes later in your career. But the dude is physical. The dude is talented. I interviewed him last week. Man, he's really good at the game of football.
Yeah, true that.
Justin Jefferson. If you were to guess who his favorite player growing up was, who do you think it would be?
Growing up in football,
Yep.
I would probably say Randy Moss.
Yeah.
I would probably say Randy Moss or Chris Carter, like both of those guys. I mean, he has elite levels of admiration for both of those guys. So I know we both work. I mean, I know we live in Minnesota, but I'm not trying to be a homer. I feel like he's like a huge fan of both of those guys.
But it's almost like the prophecy, like he's growing into Randy Moss level success. So I know there's still a long ways to go, but he's touching some of Randy Moss's records, and yeah, it would make perfect sense.
I mean, like I tell people all the time, like we're literally witnessing greatness. It's very rare that we actually get a chance to like witness someone being the best at their craft and actually appreciate it. So when it comes to like JJ talk, I never compare him to anyone or say this is that or that is this, because this is greatness. Like this is LeBron level of greatness in the NFL. And I'm not a LeBron fan, but like I respect his greatness. So I tell people that all the time. Like before you compare, just appreciate it.
It's been an honor to watch him these last 2 years. Obviously, we couldn't watch him during the COVID year, but I don't think I've gone to a Vikings game where he hasn't gotten at least 115. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know how crazy? Like listen to what you just said. You know how crazy that is?
Yeah, that's
in the highest level of football in the world.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's insane. That's insane.
And he's still so young. That's another guy that's younger than me, and it
24, right?
pisses me off as a 26-year-old. It's insane. Next question, TJ Hawkinson. If you asked him who his celebrity lookalike would be, who would he say? Who do you think he'd say?
I think he'd say either Aquaman or what's the guy? Steven Adams, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I love that.
The blonde Steven Adams.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like literally just a darker haired version of himself.
Right.
Yeah. His brother also looks exactly like him, and the reason we know that is we were walking around the concourse for the Colts Vikings games last year, and we saw just long blonde hair going all the way down this guy's back, and someone eventually like tapped him on the shoulder in our group and was like, "Hey, you look like TJ Hawkinson." He's like, "Yeah, that's because he's my brother." So, and we ran into TJ at the 3M. We told him that story, and he's like, "Oh yeah, did he have 2 beers in his hand?" And we're like, "Yeah." He's like, "That was my brother." So yeah, it's honestly, his brother looks more like him than anyone else, which isn't surprising, but it's still hilarious.
TJ gets it.
Yeah, he gets the bet for sure.
Daniil Hunter, the dude does not look like he's touched any bad food his whole entire life. But if you had to choose his favorite fast food place, what do you think Daniil Hunter's favorite fast food place would be?
Favorite fast food place for Daniil, I would probably go somewhere like Jersey Mike's or like Panera Bread, like something that's still healthy but a little bit on the cheap side. Like the guy does care about his physique and his diet.
You can tell.
One of those two.
Or I could see him going to Chipotle and crushing like an insanely large burrito bowl with like 60 grams of protein.
Oh yeah.
I feel like he's a big Crispin Green guy. That's technically fast food.
I could see that.
There you go. There you go. Next one down on here is KOC. Do you think he thinks about the Roman Empire?
Not this week.
Okay, yeah.
Probably not this week.
He's got bigger priorities, like getting the team to hold on to the ball, I suppose.
Oh, gosh. Okay, our final guy for you in this guessing game here, which thank you very much for being a good sport and playing this, is Jordan Addison. If you had to guess his favorite pregame song, what would Jordan Addison be jamming out to, do you think?
Oh, I actually know this. And I know this because I've sat beside him on the bus on the way to the last two road games. And, oh, man, I'll tell you this. Jordan Addison is not a Bluetooth headphone guy. Like, he has the actual Apple cord. So it's like,
oh, okay.
I love when rich people do that.
I'm like, dude, you just got paid all this money. Like, are you sure? Like, you just don't want to use mine? Like, these are Bluetooth. He's just an old school type of guy. I just can't think of the song that he was listening to, though, because it's unique. It's not what you would think. But I guess hopefully the second answer works for this group, that Jordan Addison does not use Bluetooth headphones.
That works.
I do love when people like him do that, because it makes us common men feel like
he's one of us.
Or not, even better, it's like, okay, that guy has more on me at everything except for that. Like, I have better technology than that guy. So that's one thing I'm better at. And then you try to think about anything else and you're like, nope, that's it. He's got cooler shit than me in every other category. But yeah. What kind of genre? Yeah, he's my guy. I actually bought his. I was debating on which jersey to buy this year, and I'm always like more of a niche player. Like, I want to buy someone who, doesn't, have all the jersey sales, and I ended up getting Addison's. But I'm curious what his favorite genre is, because you said it's something you wouldn't expect. Is it like country? Is it like heavy metal?
No, I want to say it's like something. It might be like R&B, like something that's more chill.
All right.
Like Afro beats, so like something that's like got a good beat, but it's more so just a feel. I feel like that's probably more of Jordan's, from the couple of times I've sat beside him on the bus. That was the vibe, and I'm like, this is what you're listening to? Cool.
Yeah.
Well, he does, in interviews and stuff like that, though, he does just give off that just chill, nothing's gonna bother me vibe.
Yeah, I mean that's who he is, and then when he gets into the game, it's like a completely different person. He's like still chill, but I mean I think his username on Instagram, not his username, but his bio on Instagram just says gamer. Like, the guy just turns it on. Like, he knows how to like perform when the lights are bright. So I love him for that.
He's a gamer on the field, but then he'll go home, turn on the Xbox, and drop a 30 bomb on Team Deathmatch. He's gamer in multiple ways, maybe. Maybe it's a double-edged sword. Final question I had for you, Gabe, is just be totally honest. How do you predict this season ends? Do you think they turn it around? Do you think it continues to be this frustrating, we're just on the brink of it, opposite of last year? Like, from your honest perspective, how do you think this is going to shake out?
I do believe this Vikings team is the roster is a playoff roster, and we've got some unlucky breaks the first three games. And I'm just thinking of this Carolina Panthers team, Frank Reich. That's the next team up, the next coach up. And I believe Frank's first year in Indianapolis, they started the season 1-5.
Yep.
And then they ended the season 10-6 and ended up making the playoffs. So I'm not going to say the Vikings are going to do that, but I believe that the talent on this roster helps people like me believe that they can turn this thing around. I personally believe the Vikings are going to win some games this year where you're going to be like, they won that game, but they lost to this.
Yep.
But at this point, it's only forward. Like, they can't change what happened in the past. It's just more so of trying to make the most of the future games. Like, this schedule does not get easier. We know that. We see the games on the horizon, but like I think I told you guys in the beginning, in this league, losing and winning are both contagious. And if you can get that first win, if you can actually feel it, that changes literally the entire landscape of your team. So I believe the Vikings are going to be favored in a few games moving forward. They just have to win this upcoming game against the Panthers on Sunday.
Yeah.
Gabe, I did want to add something quick. This whole football season.
Wait, can't poke your head in the.
No, let him see it. Let him see it.
That's creepy.
It's so creepy.
That's terrifying.
The angle.
This whole college football season, I thought I was the biggest Liberty Flames fan in Minnesota, but that's your alma mater. We do a betting show with 10K, and Liberty is 4-0 against the spread, and because of that, they become my second favorite college football team, and it's an absolute wagon, and they're so fun to watch. So I just want to let you know I'm on the
Left hand
Flames
up.
wagon.
Caden Salter, man, back-to-back Conference USA Player of the Week.
Yeah, he's unstoppable.
Michael Vick just tweeted out the BPI rankings for all the universities in the state of Virginia: Virginia Tech, UVA, James Madison, ODU, Liberty. Liberty is the best school in the state of Virginia right now. So,
And it's not close.
I didn't
Red
say it. I didn't say it, but
Yeah. I'm sure you didn't
you keep
expect that,
winning
but I had to make you feel at home a little bit.
No, I appreciate you, man. I mean, let's go grab a beer just because of that.
Let's go.
Just for the left hand up in the Liberty wagon. But Gabe, before we let you go, let everyone know where people can find you, because we know you do a lot of awesome work with the Vikings, and it sounds like in the community as well, which is super cool.
Appreciate you, man. All my social media, Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
TikTok at Gabe A. Henderson. Try to keep it pretty standard and company as possible. So at Gabe A. Henderson on all my social media platforms. Follow me. Hopefully I'm entertaining enough. I have my days where I'm in a motivational mood versus all right, this is what's happening with the Vikings. So I always try to keep people on their toes if you follow me. So follow me.
I just want to say it's such a pro move to have the same exact name for all socials. I wish we could do that, but we can't.
Yep. That's the way to get it, because usually like your name is taken on one of them oddly, or you've been rocking the same one. So that is a great brand move. And let me know on that haircut. I'm always down.
I got you.
All right, sweet.
Appreciate you guys.
Awesome.
Yeah, we
Thanks a lot,
appreciate you
Gabe.
too, Gabe. Talk to you later, man.
Yes, sir. Y'all stay
Peace.
safe.
See ya. Hey, if we haven't said it enough, football and fall sports are back. We got preseason hockey. We got basketball coming down the pipeline. Football's been back for a few weeks. And if you wonder how we're able to legally place sports bets in the state of Minnesota, we use an app made by our friends at Better Edge. And if you don't know what Better Edge is, it is a legal online social betting marketplace that allows you to post and engage with other sports betting fans, place no commission positions in an online marketplace, compete in direct head-to-head challenges with horrible bettors like us, compete in public or private betting competitions, and doing all that, you can buy or sell positions such as the spread, the over-under, or the money line at current market prices. So if you use promo code 10K, that's 10K at betteredge.com, you get a free $20 when you sign up and verify your ID. Once again, that's promo code 10K at betteredge.com to get a free $20 and win some money today. All right, welcome back to It's a Bit. Great interview with Gabe. We are confident the Vikings will turn this around. We're going to choose positivity, and that's just a great transition into buy or sell, which we'll see how much of the Vikings we are buying or selling. But the way this segment works is we are going to treat these people, places, things like they're stocks, and we're going to go around the room and just say whether we buy or sell what they are. Cam, what is this shirt you're wearing? I'm curious whose face. Is that your face?
No, that is it's a fundraiser softball tournament I played in.
Oh, okay.
For a kid who unfortunately passed away.
Oh, R.I.P.
Way to bring it on the show, Jack.
Well, no, I don't know. It's a kid smiling, and I thought, does Cam have a picture of himself as a child?
No, from when you were like positioned forward, the side with the hair, it did kind of look like you.
I don't know
for some
if I'm gonna
reason.
get canceled for saying this, but that's very offensive.
What?
Let's move on.
Okay.
What, that you look
blonde hair, blue eyes? It looks like.
I'm joking.
Okay. We're going to buy or sell. Let's start with the Minnesota Vikings head coach, KOC, Kevin O'Connell. Team started 0-3. He's had some sussy calls. He blamed the spike on the crowd, which was, or the lack of the spike on the crowd, which a lot of fans found upsetting. He didn't call the spike. He tried to call a play. Kind of poorly mismanaged end of the game. Cam, are you buying or selling KOC?
I'm still buying. If you think that KOC should be fired, you're fucking insane. What are we going to do? Like, he's still a great coach. It's been a rough start of the year. Every coach goes through it, though. Like, you look at any Hall of Fame coach or any coach that's good right now, he had growing pains. It's going to happen. You're never just going to come into the league unless you have, like, a star-studded lineup like Matt LaFleur did with, like, he had Rodgers, right? Like, KOC doesn't have, like, a all-world quarterback. Like, Kirk Cousins is still great, but he's not, like, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady level. So you're going to have these times of where, like, you don't look that great, but, like, it's his second year.
Yeah, even when he's the O coordinator, Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp, or for the Rams when they won their Super Bowl, Stafford and Kupp, they even had, I think they went 3-game losing streak as well at a certain point during the year, and they came back. They still won the Super Bowl. Now, don't get me wrong. The Rams had a lot of things going for them that the Vikings don't. But, yeah, I think KOC I'm going to buy as well, mainly because the stock right now is so low. After starting 0-3, no one cares about the Vikings. Everyone's talking about trading Kirk. Everyone's talking about tanking for Caleb. It's low. Maybe like if you were going to buy a stock at the end of last year, it would have been high, but now it's low. So I'm going to buy a stock. I do think that the ship will get righted. I think 0-3 sucks, but I still have some optimism. And I think if they don't make the playoffs this year, that's going to be more of a question if he's on the hot seat. But this year he's not.
More of a so you're opening the question of what is it? Hashtag crippling for Caleb.
Is that what it is?
Like
That's what we're calling it.
Hashtag croak for Caleb.
Croak for Caleb.
Hashtag choke for Caleb. Yeah.
Collapse
for Caleb. Yeah, there's a whole
come for Caleb.
Oh,
I like
Cam.
that.
I know Cam was doing that already, so that's fine. I mean, I'm gonna buy KOC as well. I think it's just way too early to start. I know there are probably people on Fanline on Sunday saying he should get fired, which is natural, but I don't think he's on the hot seat yet. I mean, last year still happened, and that was him.
Yeah.
Like, he turned that program around pretty quickly. So from the Zimmer era, so he's very positive. He's still, you can tell the players like him. You can tell him and Kirk have a great relationship. The offense is still firing on all cylinders, minus mistakes that can be easily cleaned up. So yeah, I mean, you gotta ride with him. You gotta ride the big cock still, and you gotta stick up with him. So.
And I hope what he said in his press conference recently is true. He literally went out and said, "I'm gonna start benching guys who fumble," and I hope that's true because I don't want to watch another TJ fumble. I don't want to watch another Madison fumble.
There's coaches that do that, like Belichick. If you fumble, you're fucked.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're the highest paid guy on the team or the lowest paid.
Unless your name was Tom Brady or like now Mac Jones. Like unless you're the quarterback, if you fumble, like have fun watching.
Well, Mac Jones, instead of having to get benched for fumbling the ball a lot, he just puts his hands on Sauce Gardner's cock, and that seems to give him a little more grip.
It's not the first time he's done that. Mac Jones is the Grayson Allen of the NFL.
Yeah.
Like, he just loves hitting people in the nuts.
I saw a tweet that was like, the biggest surprise about Mac Jones is that he didn't play Duke or basketball for Duke, which is absolutely
he has a
hilarious.
personality for it. He's a little rich bitch boy. When he gets hurt, he was screaming. Remember when
rich bitch boy?
He sprained his ankle. Remember, he was like screaming like he just got shot.
Yeah. It doesn't help that he looks like Grayson Allen or something like that too, right? He just looks like a little cocky white kid. No. Don't sack tap people. Come on,
no,
unless you have consent, then do it.
Well, no touching of the hair or face as well, according to Anchorman.
Yes,
Sauce Gardner was hilarious. So he's like, Mac Jones tried to make it to where I don't have kids in the future.
Yeah,
like he just made.
Okay,
he was obviously pissed.
The best kind of birth control.
Watching the video though, I it's not like you're like a lineman at the bottom of a pile. I've heard of people like grabbing sacks and twisting. It's just a little taps. It didn't look like he was trying to stop him from having children, but it's still bush
Probably
league.
didn't feel great.
No, it didn't.
It's kind of hard to see.
You're right, yeah, because even like in the zoomed up thing, it's really
There's
hard.
still Patriots fans trying to say he didn't do it. I'm like, dude.
No, because you can see the
right
hand
there.
move. I think the argument is like, how hard did he actually do it? And
It's
it didn't look that hard.
This is the 2023 season where like Travis Kelce is dating Taylor Swift, and we're trying to determine how
hard Mac Jones
was hitting Sauce Gardner's penis, and Aaron Rodgers is already out. Who thought we'd be here by 3 weeks?
We've officially transitioned from cock to cock, by the way.
True.
That's an elite podcast moment.
That is an elite podcast moment. Cock to cock, yeah. All right, moving along to fall weather. Even though it's going to be, I think it's going to be like 85 this
Shove that up
weekend.
somebody's ass.
Yeah, what the fuck? This is supposed to be late September, early October football. I was hoping to have my Gopher Unreal sweatshirt out by now with the sweatpants. I thought this was going to be like a prime 50-degree sunny day. It's going to be fucking 85 degrees this Saturday. I'm going to have to wear shorts.
I'm going to go naked.
Oh, you might catch a case.
No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I'm 100% buying fall weather. It's the greatest season that doesn't exist because we never get fall. We get like a week of it, and then it's like, oh yeah, by the way, blizzard next week.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the best. The sweatshirt, the bonfires, the football, like everything. It's great.
Okay, so let's really quickly, I know we're all Gopher season ticket holders and we pride ourselves off of that. Let's go through the rest of the home games, and you guys tell me where you think the cutoff is of shorts to sweatpants, and then the cutoff from sweatpants to snow pants. Ready?
Okay.
So for home games left in the 2023 season, we have Gophers versus Louisiana this Saturday.
That's a shorts game. Yeah.
That's a shorts game. Okay, and then we have Gophers versus Illinois. Oh wait, no, my calendar's fucked. Sorry. Gophers versus Michigan next Saturday.
Sweatshirt, sweatpants. It's a night game.
6 o'clock. Yeah, 6 o'clock.
6:30.
You got to think too, like next weekend when it's 80 degrees, it's the first time it's been that in a little bit.
This
it
is
has
the last
been
shorts
cold.
game.
Yeah.
Last shorts game?
I agree.
And the only shorts game last year was the opener.
Yeah, it was hot
That's
as
right.
fuck,
We only
too,
had one
dude.
shorts
Well,
game.
I guess like you could have wore shorts. For
Colorado
the
was
other
a
two.
shorts game.
Yeah, but like it shouldn't be in fucking October 7th.
Yep.
Or like September 30th.
Okay, so we're saying
Michigan is when we're going to start wearing the sweatshirts, sweatpants.
Okay, and then Michigan State the 28th. 28th of October is the next home game after
Sweatshirt,
Michigan.
sweatpants.
See, that's tough, though, because, like, do you just remember, like, sometimes going home on the school bus, it hasn't even been Halloween yet, right? And it's snowing out your fucking bus window. That happened plenty times growing up. There's a decent chance that could be even snow, you know? So
Snow pants game?
For me though,
I don't-
like. I'm naturally warm all the time. I think for me that's a sweatpants game.
Okay. I'm gonna agree with that, but then I'm gonna say after that it's Illinois on Saturday, November 4th. I'm gonna say that's our sweatpants or our snow pants game, just like Iowa. I'm gonna do an early call on that prediction.
I would say November is when fall weather ends and it starts dipping into winter weather.
I think I'm just wearing compressions and sweatpants. I think I have one snow pants game this year, and it's the last game of the year.
Gophers versus Wisconsin on the 25th of November. You're calling that
Yeah,
snow
it's gonna be
pants
cold
game?
as balls. It always is.
When was Iowa game last year? That was freezing.
That was in play. That was like the week before.
Was that last
so
week?
Well, it was
week?
like November 18th. Is
Okay.
So like right around.
That was freezing. That whole game was freezing.
That was awful. Yeah, it was. Let's see, 2022. That was on November 19th.
Oh,
So
you
that's
got it.
why I'm predicting a snow pants game for the. I don't think it's too unrealistic for the 4th, maybe.
No, I don't think it's unrealistic either. But again, it's just the bipolar weather around here, man. You just don't know.
You don't know. That's why this was fun. This
Yes.
exercise was fun.
It was a
but
fun exercise. Thanks.
It was a fun little bit.
It's a good icebreaker.
Good icebreaker. The show's called It's a Bit. That's why it was a good bit. But yeah, fall weather wags. You buying or selling?
Yeah, fall is my favorite season of the year. It's I love sweatshirts. I love being outside. I love it. The fresh air. Even it's even fresher during the fall.
Got that crisp in the air.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, it feels good when the air hits your lungs. Fall is my favorite season every single year. So yeah, I'm buying fall, and maybe it's also just because football. Fall. I don't know why. I just love fall.
Yeah, fall's great. You have the holidays kind of upcoming. There's a lot of good stuff coming up. You're through the dog days of summer. Football's back.
Growing up, it always meant hockey was
Yep.
literally right around the corner.
The trees, the leaves change colors. It's a good change of pace and it's fresh. But like Cam mentioned, we don't get it too often. Fall golf is also highly underrated when you can put the football game on as a speaker or even like the wild game or whatever else you want to put on the old speaker while you play golf. You chug beers to keep you warm, but you also get to play golf courses for like $40 for 18 in a cart.
Yep.
Even though it's only light out like 9 hours of the day, so you have to play at a certain time. But yeah, I love fall, so I'm buying. That's pretty easy. All right, Minnesota Twins going into the playoffs here in a couple weeks. Cam, buy or sell? Are you ready?
I'm buying. Circle the wagons. It's the only positive thing that I have in my life. Just kidding. Only positive sports thing that I have in my life right now. So I'm all in until I get disappointed.
You know some people, and I'm going to let them know that they're not positive for you.
No, I said in my sports life.
What about Joan Duran?
I saved myself.
You caught yourself. No.
I was going to get a text tomorrow. But now I will not.
You saved yourself. I love that, dude. I'm going to just go I've been viewing the Twin stock history, and around playoff time, it tends to crash. I want to say the last 16 years, it's crashed pretty hard. So I'm going to sell the Twins just based on the stock history. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to buy them. I hope that they go as far as they possibly can. I hope they win the World Series. On history, I'm selling.
I could steal PFT's joke. And another Twins loss has hit the second tower.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
It's only been
It's September, Cameron. Wait
It's
another
so
month
fucking
before
funny.
that joke.
I was like 9/11 humor's great. That was bad. No, it's not.
Dude.
taken out of context.
9/11 humor is not great.
There's no good context.
It's
there.
not great.
Pete
but
Davidson fucking made his career on 9/11 humor.
I'm so
motherfucker.
canceled. But no, I was listening to PMT the other day, and PFT was talking about the Dolphins. He's like, "Oh, and another Dolphins touchdown has just hit the second tower."
Yeah, that's tough. I'm gonna buy the Twins, although I know it's one of those stocks where I know it's a stupid investment as I pay for it, as I check it out. But and when I say buy, I mean I think they're gonna win a playoff game, but I'm probably gonna be wrong on that because they haven't won a playoff game since I was 7 years old.
Yeah.
Which is fucking insane.
And,
I'm a grown-ass man now. Yeah. I've said this on 100 different episodes, but we're all living proof of how long it's been. we were all small children the last time they won.
And what also is terrifying me is, as of right now, and Cam, correct me if I'm wrong, because you'd know more about this, but as of right now, if the season ends, we're playing the Astros, right?
Right now, because the Mariners are on the outside looking in. The Astros are the one team I don't want to play.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They have two really good pitchers who I do feel like would give us some fits, and I do like that's the one thing we have going for us is our pitchers at the very least.
The only good thing is the Astros are fighting their asses off to make it into the playoffs, so they're gonna have to use their top tier players,
where we can rest ours at the very, very last few games.
To where normally we would face Framber Valdez the first game, and he would just murder us, and then we would face Verlander in the second game, where that might not be the case.
Because they might need them to even get into the playoffs.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the luxury of having a shit division where you win the division. You don't have to fight for a wild card where your division's great.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that's something to look forward to. But let's keep moving on. We have number 4. We've already kind of talked about the Gophers quite a bit, but PJ Fleck. We're 2-2. We've just blown a 21-point lead last week to Northwestern, which was pretty disappointing. And the flurry of PJ haters have come back out, as they always do when we suffer a terrible loss like this. Producer Cam, buy or sell Mr. PJ Fleck.
It's also been, remember, 7 years with him in charge of the Gopher helm. So
I'm selling.
Whoa.
yeah.
That's a whoa moment.
Yeah, I am officially OUT on the Fleck situation, which literally pains me to say, and I would seriously never tell him that to his face. But
Bitch.
but it you can't lose to Northwestern. Mm-hmm. It's worse than the Bowling Green loss in my eyes.
See, I'm gonna be with Cam. I'm also selling. I just saw a tweet, and this is what really hits it home for me: is you can't have a loss like that 7 years into your coaching tenure. If it's the first few years, whatever. But when this is his roster through and through, it should be his players, and the fact that they're blowing 21-point leads to, let's be honest, frankly, bad teams.
Horrible.
Yeah,
They're one of the worst teams in the country.
It's unacceptable, and even I want to say the last few years, I think a lot of Gopher fans have said it. We should have had better records than we actually ended up having. There were some games that we let slip away that I felt like coaching could have been the reason for it.
And no matter what you finish this year, you will be able to say that again.
Yeah, but and here's the thing: the other side of the coin is, like, when was the last time the Gophers has been this competitive every year? It's been a long time, right? So that's why it hurts so much to say so.
Yeah, I probably got to sell right now. Right now, I'll sell right now. If we beat Michigan,
oh yeah, we're buying, baby.
We'll be buying again. So
you don't want to buy the dip?
You never know. Well, I'm gonna sell like everyone else because I'm a fucking follower.
Because you're a beta cook.
Yeah, I'm a beta cook.
Beta cook.
Yeah, I'm selling right now. At least with losing to Northwestern, it's embarrassing. It was a terrible finish to watch. That's a team that's supposed to be a free win on the calendar. And now we have to play Louisiana, who is, like you said, not that bad of a team right now. And then we got to play Michigan. So
you know what bothers me real quick is I love the row the boat thing. I love it all. He's brought a great atmosphere here.
Like the culture.
Yeah, the culture's fantastic. But after that Northwestern game, when he did the press conference, and at the end when he said "roll the boat," I wanted to shoot myself. I was so pissed. I'm like, you don't get to do that.
That's
No.
You look like a goddamn fool.
that was kind of like when Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I was about to
when
say
Russell
that.
Wilson was
Last year.
yeah, when they got killed on Monday night or something. Then after the press conference, he's like, "All right, Broncos country, let's ride."
He's like Bronco country. He starts taking 3 steps off the stage. You can hear him. Let's ride. In the background, dude. That was so bad.
Yeah, you can't. I do appreciate the commitment to that bit. Like you can't just go by your mantra only when times are good and when you win. But yeah,
it makes your blood boil.
It's such a punch in the face when you hear him say it after you just blow a lead or a 21-point lead and lose to one of the worst teams in the country.
We literally lost to Tartan High School.
Yeah.
What the fuck? No offense to anyone that went to Tartan, Jack Johansson, but
yeah, or anyone else who currently plays in their football team. I'm sure you're fine, young man.
Or anyone with a relationship to the school of Northwestern, which we've completely ripped on plenty this episode.
Hey, they have a oh god.
You're an alcoholic. Time to go to meetings.
Don't tell people.
Oh
no.
All right. The next one is Tyreek Hill. So for a little background on why we're talking about Tyreek Hill, someone asked him on a podcast over the last few days what he wants to do
post
NFL, and he said he wants to be a porn star for real, brah. So
was that actually his verbatim response?
Yeah.
That's
for real, bro.
Yeah, he's not kidding. He wants to do porn.
Yeah. buy or sell Tyreek Hill on its surface. I'll buy him as a football player. Tyreek Hill's ability to fuck, I guess I don't know.
You haven't watched the tape yet?
Yeah, I haven't
Watch
watched
the tape. Get back to you.
Yeah.
Well,
like Jack said before, I feel like if he consistently puts up 30 points a week on your fantasy roster, you're like obliged to watch his porn.
Yeah, so I was telling Cam, I'm like, the way he's been carrying people's fantasy football teams, I think we all owe him a view out of support when he starts. I think even if you don't have to watch the video. I would not plan on watching the video, but at least leave your phone on autoplay for a few of them and give him some support for how much he supported you winning a $120 fantasy league.
This just the next thing we see on Twitter is Tyreek Hill and Lena the Plug just drops a tape.
Yeah.
Remember that whole thing where she like
And Jason 21 gets involved.
Adam 22.
Adam.
I only know
You were
because
close there.
I only know because it was all over Twitter.
Yeah, Cam's
Yeah.
a big porn guy.
Big
that's why.
porn. God, I love porn so much.
God. Dude, I remember when Logan Paul got fucking engaged to that Nina girl, that Adam 22 guy commented, "Let her fuck another guy."
Yeah.
You'll be so much happier.
Hey, someone's got to be
What?
king. Someone's got to be king of the beta cooks.
Someone does need to be
King Cuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, the king cuck. I'll fucking hey, dude. If he fucks anywhere near as how he fucks the defenses, he'll be great.
The Broncos defense.
Yeah, dude, he'll be great. You'll see him with all the top porn stars. He'll bring Brandy Love out of retirement for God's sake. So we'll go with Tyreek Hill. We'll buy that stock. Why not?
Maybe it'll just be like the biggest curveball in American history, and he'll do gay porn because he does know how to punish a D.
That's a theory.
Good sexy dad joke for you.
It is, and also, who are we to assume who Tyreek Hill hooks up with?
True.
Right.
True.
Well, remember when he was super horny on our friend Annie Agar's post?
Oh yeah. No, we can assume. You're right. We can assume.
You can assume. I gotta buy him for what, like I said, what he's done for my fantasy team. He also seems to always be part of a promo with Underdog Fantasy, and he always hits the over or the higher. I've been hammering him on the higher. Like I said, I think as people who have, as someone who can say I've won a lot of money off Tyreek Hill's performance, I have to support him at least once, even if I'm going to turn the phone screen away because I don't want to watch an NFL player go to town on a poor girl who has a father. I think we all at least owe him some support with whatever he wants to do after football. So,
and if we could give him a word of advice, Tyreek, as a male porn star, just be quiet during the videos, for the love of God.
And please, don't demand close-ups of your cock. I will say I'm terrified. I'm really scared that we're witnessing Antonio Brown 2.0.
He's going to beef with Johnny Sins, and then they're going to do a celebrity boxing match.
A naked one?
The ring girls will just be nude.
They're just doing cock helicopters.
Oh,
before
my God.
This is bad.
If you're part of Gabe Henderson's family and you listen to this podcast,
Yeah.
we apologize.
I hope he turned it off after the interview.
Your son is a great man, and do not associate him with what we're talking about.
No,
this is sports, though. This is a topic. Tyreek Hill was the one who brought porn into sports today, so you can't blame us for this.
And if you work with any of us or you're our bosses, no, you're not.
No, you don't. No, that's my evil twin. I haven't met him yet. All right, the final one on here. We talked about it earlier in the show, but Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce dating now. It seems to have completely taken over the sports world. Are we buying or selling this relationship, producer Cam?
I'm selling it. There's really no way it works out, right? Because it's so in the spotlight. I'm also selling. I don't even care. I hope they have a great relationship. I hope it's fucking beautiful and sunshine and rainbows. But I'm selling it because the Swifties are psychotic, and I'm sick of dealing with them already. Case closed.
I just, I'm going to buy it, and only because it just feels like the greatest marketing move any football player could have ever done. I think when we talked about it earlier, like his jersey shot into the top 5. He got, I think, 300K more followers on social media in one day. It's the best move that Travis could have made, and it also helps reestablish his brand after his cheating scandal, apparently, which I had no clue about.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to buy it because the NFL just got more popular, right? When you think it couldn't, now you have all these psychotic people who are Swifties suddenly watching football, which is great for the NFL. Like you mentioned, it's great for Travis Kelce. Worst case scenario, she breaks his heart and then writes a whole album about him, and he gets talked about even more.
Exactly.
As if the 2 Super Bowls wasn't relevant enough for his statistics. He's now relevant outside of football in a sphere that only a few NFL players to the likes of Rodgers and Brady have, of being famous outside of football. So
and also what he did. Could you how happy would your mom be if you got Taylor Swift to hang out with her for a night?
She's like the ultimate sweetheart.
Yeah, best son in the world.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now I'm horny for Taylor Swift.
Best sound in the world. Is that what you said?
She has a great voice. Is that what?
Oh.
Wait, what sound are you talking about?
Bonk.
I didn't say sound.
I thought you
Oh, I
said
thought you
sound.
said.
I literally, I thought you said she
the
has
best,
the best
son
sound
in the world.
Son. S-O-N.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, I was setting up the interview.
No,
No,
it
you're
is.
fine.
It is truly a great thing for ball, and it might not be for Travis Kelce because now he has people taking pictures of his car as he's driving down the road with her in it. And I don't think he's ready for the amount of attention that this is going to bring. I mean, yeah, you mentioned all the good things. There's a lot of bad things that people aren't talking about of being associated with the most famous person in the world outside of a politician.
Well, dude, it's the amount of attention he's getting. I'm sure he never expected it because just him and Taylor, when they walked out of the arena together, that shit got analyzed so fucking much, and that was just two people leaving an arena.
Yeah, and then she was like, "Hey."
Yes, yeah, and apparently everyone
He
was
looked pissed.
People were like, "Look at his body language. This will last 2 weeks max." You know, whatever.
Or I saw someone say, as a scumbag myself, Travis Kelce is about to pipe her. Like, this look only means one thing.
He still has his game face on.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, even post game. But all right, folks, that does it for another episode of It's a Bit. Thank you so much for listening to us. As always, make sure to follow us on all socials at 10K Takes. Make sure to go to the website at 10ktakesmn.com. Go to the shop while you're there. We appreciate your support so much as always, and we'll see you next week.